city.
Written for 4 years, 10 years.
That's all I need. I ride like
What are you doing?
No, that's all right. You're fine.
Four years or 40?
Whatever. Whatever. I can go down there. Where you at?
If you hit the sales line.
Yeah, the first year we did the search mark covering the next 4.
Yeah, I really like it. So you got 4 years of
I take the trip every summer and I got a nice set of boxes.
Yeah. Or you hire someone.
I've done the Dalmatian twice.
4 years is enough. 2
I
years.
take, you can take the highway now almost all the way to Boston. I go fast in a day and a half. And then I come up on the coastal road, and I just camp. I take a bag, and that's just a one-man tent. I don't make any booking. Because every 10 kilometers is a campground, and they can always sort of
Right, you just need to get more steps.
And then last summer,
Well, we buy in bar, that's what we drove
so I went from
right now.
Budapest
I did the shop
down past Lake Garda,
buy one pallet.
and then over to Como. Turned around to Como, went down to Milan, and came back to the foothills.
Okay, so 30% of this is the byproduct.
It was awesome because I think but it's 40C,
Right.
and I'm in
Okay, so it's an
near
option.
here, and it's 40.
Yeah, you just go into the bake area,
Greece,
lower price.
Bulgaria, Romania.
Okay, so you need someone to
I've read
manage
about
all
that
these
road
people.
in Romania.
You're gonna try to bring on.
You didn't read about
Try
it.
to get them.
You watched that Top Gear, right?
Work
I watched
production.
Top Gear, but there's also there's a YouTube video of a guy on a 1200
Okay,
US
okay.
who went down it.
When that episode came out, I was like, okay, Jim, you say that's the
When I'm
biggest,
there,
that's road in the world, and we'll check it out.
But once we can hire full time,
Everybody,
Salaries will come about once you.
55 Romanian.
but at the same time, we have to search people.
No.
One month working for 10 pounds an hour.
That's what the best Hungarian do that thing.
Yeah, they
5 hours a week.
This is their official name for them.
They still take out 5 hours a week, so we can make it worldwide.
Yeah.
And we combine contracts as well.
Okay.
And then we just
I have to train you in to speak Hungarian. So yeah, you know, I didn't know it's a relation. I had 9 years lessons. And then you got a Hungarian you can't read anything.
These two things. Where are you going to use it?
I didn't realize it was only 20 either until I read it.
What the free, not just
It's easy for it.
this, I wouldn't. So I would get on this first. This, it's success for years, and it's just more.
Joe, you have a job.
I walked in this morning to tell them I'm ready to be a backup, and they said, you're on now.
Have you done the homework?
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently I'm gonna do the rest of the day.
Hi, Kurt.
Kurt, Joe McCall. So, yeah, I was, all of a sudden, I'm back to work.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Were you in the other?
They talked about 2 years ago.
It's been really some great stuff.
Oh, I see that. That's good.
Are you coming to be joining you yet?
There you go.
Test, test.
I always like hearing your voice. Watch out, everything you say is transmitted live. Hello world.
Nothing ever gets delivered.
Waiting to get the thing going up here.
Thank you.
Okay, for next presentation now, he's going to do it without a PowerPoint. He's also going to do it in hand signals. Very exciting. You're going to sign this, okay?
Was this water sitting there already? Because I believe that was mine.
Yeah, I think it was there somewhere.
Okay. There we go. How are you doing today? Good. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks. Did you break your razor or something?
No, I saved every day for 26 years.
Okay.
Some of us are more manly.
I'm not sick. I'm not sick. I just want you to know just allergies are absolutely destroying me today. So I want you guys to get worried. Yeah. Oh, I hope so. Yeah. It's just
You know, they say if you don't have allergies, you're very well in a couple of years, you will.
you know what? It's I used to think that's exactly what then took here. Obviously, developed. I've been starting this like injection therapy kind of things. It worked great for like 6 months, and now it's like.
It's not my problem with it. We all for a bunch of different kind of climates, it has an overlap.
Yeah.
So everything, all the growth.
Oh yeah. So like maybe
Yeah, I think everything's
always
some
sensitive to
pollen
something else.
He's a good kid. He's smart.
Yeah.
I've known him for a couple of years.
Really?
Felt like I hold it alive.
Really? Okay, now I'm really interested.
Three spindles and
North on
All right. Angela, do you mind shutting the door? Okay. Thank you. All right, I want to thank everybody for coming out here today. We're going to go ahead and get started on the second half of the pitches. I was watching some of the pitches over in the first auditorium. I got to tell you, the pitches here in the second auditorium are far and away much better than the pitches that you would see over there. They really are.
Are you allowed to say that?
I'm allowed to say that. I am allowed to say that.
That's what we like.
And yes, I am.
Because of the quality of the jury, right?
It's because of the quality of the judging that we have here. And it's because of the MC, the guy that's kind of doing the introduction. All right. I want to remind everybody that what we're doing here. We've got, I don't know, nearly 100 pitches that are taking place today. We've got a number of startups that are here from 9 different countries. And so we're really proud of that. The pitching is going to take place. It's 8 minutes of a pitch and then 7 minutes of Q&A. We have signs that we're basically going to let the guy pitching know exactly when his time is almost up. And then the judges are going to come up with their number score. And at the end of the day, we're going to be calculating all of the scores between this auditorium and the other auditorium and picking the top 5. And those top 5, we're going to ask them to come and pitch again to the investment committee for the International Accelerator. And if they are selected, we'll be inviting them to come to the International Accelerator. So it's awfully exciting. Our first presenter this afternoon is a gentleman by the name of Nick Angelou. I think everyone has heard and recognized that last name. He's someone from the Greek delegation, although he lives here in Austin, but he's from the Greek delegation, to talk about a new software application called Date Deposit. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Nick Angelou.
Thank you.
So first, thank you again for having me, and let's get started. So my company is called Date Deposit, and what is it really? Well, it's based on the premise that your etiquette can be rewarding. So let me just tell you a little bit of a background story about how I came up with this idea and what it really is, and I think that will convey what I've actually built. So one day I'm with some friends, big group of friends, and one of my friends decides to get on a social dating app. He gets on, he starts to kind of talk to a lady, and to his surprise, he finally finds one to come out and visit him at a restaurant, but he's too nervous to go out and meet her. He's so nervous, in fact, he never says hi, and for all essential purposes, he stood her up. What does that feel like? How does that feel to you? Have you ever been stood up before? I have. On numerous events. By girls, by guys, by my dad, by my mom. No. But the reality of it is, you can't really prevent it, but you can do stuff that makes you feel better about it. But this isn't really anything new. So this idea really comes from the business model of several companies, kind of like Uber and Lyft. If you request a ride, you're committing yourself to saying you're going to be there and you need a service performed. You need to be picked up. And if you are late or you're not present, they charge you money. So the same thing with done.com. It's the same thing, providing home services. And if you're not there, they dock you. Same with Molly Maid services. Pact is interesting because they apply the same model to the gym. If you go to the gym, they actually pay you money to go. Very small amounts. But if the moment you mess up, they dock you a lot. So this software stack, this business model isn't really complicated in the sense of development. So I'll give you a little bit of background about my technical abilities and how this plays a role in this development. I'm a network IT security engineer. I've hacked countless companies. I've written my own operating system. I've done research and development in semiconductor physics. I've hacked cars. I consider myself a full stack developer right now. So I have all these abilities which enable me to be the very perfect fit to build this software. But what good is all those skills if you don't have a market? So let's talk about the marketplace. How am I going to market this? Well, there's Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. This is a social app that people will use to create events and meet up with each other. But what other opportunities can we explore? We have maybe Tinder. What if you want to meet someone, schedule an event, and Tinder could be a possibility of a plug-in revenue stream. They can realize this, it could be a plugin. Meetup.com, same thing. You have an RSVP list on Meetup.com for events that people subscribe to. Let's say you're going to a wedding, for instance, or not say wedding, just any event, any RSVP platform where you count the number of people that come up there. You need to buy materials, supplies, and food. But RSVP is sometimes unreliable. You get people's numbers that don't really make sense. You say 1,000 people are showing up to my RSVP list, but then you over-provision and you buy too much. How do you get money out of this? How does this actually work? Well, I built the app for it. What does it actually do? So at this point, I haven't really discussed what it actually does. I enable you to make money in events where someone doesn't show up. I capitalize on that, and I built it, and it works. So they don't have the best UI yet. But it has a login prompt, the user creation, everything's there. And when the user first logs in, it's 4 steps. Simple. You pick your place, you pick a time and date, you enter a little memo about who you're meeting, and then you put in your credit card. I don't actually charge you any money. As soon as you submit your promise, that event is created. Oops. That event is created, and you're able to share it immediately with somebody else. You can share it via any social platform, anything, just copy paste. It's a link, it opens up in the app. And what the end user sees is another invite to be able to subscribe, excuse me, not subscribe, to commit as well, to say they're going to meet you at your destination. So there's 3 scenarios. 2 people meet up, and they both show up, no fans, no exchange of money has occurred. In the event where one or the other person has been late or is canceled, that's where that person's funds get taken, and 50% of it goes to the opposing party who is there. We want to reward good etiquette. We want to reward people who actually showed up. And the third scenario is where 2 people don't show up. In this case, I refund them. Well, let's talk about the economics of it. What are the numbers? What do I actually charge? Right now, it's a fixed amount of $10. Both require to promise $10 to put in. Of that money, 50% of it goes to the other person if they don't show up. Of that, so I'm left with $5 left over, and I have to pay my fees. I'm only using Stripe payments, and I believe in the heavy model of lean startup. So right now, my Stripe transaction fees are 30 cents plus 2.9%, total of 59 cents, excuse me. So I'm left with a net profit of $4.41 per transaction. That's a 44.1% margin. So let's extrapolate this data out over the course of 24 months. What does this look like? According to these numbers, we have to make some base case assumptions on some lowball numbers that I think are very, I guess you could say, conservative. So worst case, we have 100 users subscribing per month, or downloading the app and signing up. Best case, let's just say we have 1,000. Again, very conservative. Looking at the numbers at the end of 24 months, that's 21,000 users. Given a retention rate, how many people actually still use the app? We consider 20% retention rate, that's 4,200 users. Of those recurring users, we expect them to use the app 3 times a month. So that's 12,600 events. Of those events, naturally, most of them are people are going to meet up and not have to cancel, but there's going to be a small percentage of people that have to cancel. And that's when this company makes money. So we're assuming a 10% etiquette failed rate of people who have to cancel the meeting are going to be late for whatever purpose. So given the 10% rate, now we have 1,260 events that we'll make money off of. And at $4.41 per event, and in annualized revenues, that's up to $67,000 at the end of 24 months. And at a value at 6x the cash flow, that's just a hair over $400,000 at the end of 24 months. Well, this is all nice, but how do you get out of it? What's your takeaway from this? Well, there's 4 exit strategies. You can just sit there and do nothing. You can let this grow. It doesn't cost anything to let this business run. You can just sit there and flip coupons and let it grow organically. Probably not the best solution. I could grow the functionality, become a value-added service for a company like Tinder, Meetup.com, or any RSVP framework. I could maintain my current strategy of growing user base and making it all fancy and adding more features, and ask for a Series A of growth. And then at the end, I could sell for a multiplier of the revenues. So what are the next steps? It needs a few things before this can happen. I'm the technical side, but I need a lot more on the logo branding. I need my UI design. I need to do some more database enhancements. That I'm comfortable with doing. I need more protection from a patent perspective, which we're working on with Andrews and Kirk. We're working also, I need help with marketing so we can really drive forward for a hard launch. So what am I asking for? I need help. I need a partner, an investor, who can give me $50,000 for 5% equity. And that person needs to be able to assist me in marketing, sales, admin, and investment banking in terms of figuring out a strategy behind exit. So that's it. Thanks for listening to my presentation. Any questions?
Have you had beta users and any feedback?
We're about to release beta. So the app, as you see, is not just a mock-up. I have it working on the phone, and a few select users are testing it right now, and it works. But as far as an official beta, that'll come probably in 2 or 3 weeks.
So at this point, nobody's actually given or lost money.
Correct. Fake money, as you will, but yes.
So prevents Meetup or Tinder to implement the same solution. I mean, it's cool for those kind of applications to meeting strangers.
Yes.
But maybe for friends it won't work, right? But then those companies can also build this functionality to their app.
It's correct, they can. That's what I'm working with Andrews Curtis to patent this technology and make it, see what opportunities I can patent on this technology to be able to not allow that to happen so easily.
What are you basing your user assumptions on? Like your user growth? How did you pull up those assumptions?
I'm just basing that off of hard money to facilitate an social, sorry, excuse me, let me start over. I'm using that, I want to take the money, investment money, and use it for social media and attract users that way. I feel like it's more of like kind of like an app that people would say, oh, that's interesting, let me download it and use it. So I wanted to market it through social media. And that's where I'm basing those preliminary numbers off of. If you look at PACs, they essentially do the same thing, except it's very niche for gym. It's for self-commitments, commitments to yourself to go to the gym, not commitments for others. And their numbers are pretty much the same at the very beginning.
So you look at their user
Yes.
growth assumptions?
Yes.
Is there any provision for, I don't know, what I would call a legitimate no-show? What if somebody has an accident or a health issue and And I wrecked my car and I got dinged $4.
Well, so
So, yeah, sorry.
yes, you'll lose 10. But in this case, if you have submitted an appeal, I review your case, and I can refund you fully and not lose any money on the transaction.
So maybe pivoting the idea a little, because I'll ask, my first question would be, your customers aren't just the person who's fearful of this date, it could be any situation. But with all the apps coming out that do penalize you for not using their service, canceling at the last minute, that maybe this could be pivoted into like an insurance policy for that. You have a lot of people signed up here and you pay those fees for when you actually have a different service, like Uber or whatever.
Yeah.
And this could drive, then all of a sudden you're growing off everyone else's growth. So.
Yeah, that works. Any other questions?
What did Pact raise at on their last valuation? What's their valuation?
I'm not entirely sure the latest numbers of valuation. 80 million? 80 million. I was going to say 75, but that's a good number. And they initially raised 40,000.
So it strikes me that you have two different types of users, right? Responsible ones and irresponsible ones.
Yes.
Have you figured out how you're going to actually recruit the irresponsible ones to actually
Grow
download the app?
That's up to your abilities to recruit your friends who are not, don't like to go to meetings. I have friends that are always late. Sometimes myself.
Well,
I would still use it.
So this is a good
birds
way
of
for
a
me-
feather flock together.
Yeah,
You're not
be
charging
irresponsible.
anyone.
So you're saying you could this is an app for me to game it so that I can get money from my friends who are always late for things?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Any other questions?
All right, thank you,
Thank
Nick.
you very much. Appreciate it.
And we're going to start using this in Angelo Economics, and we're going to, every time we have a staff meeting, you're 15 minutes late, you're
Well, I
done.
think it'd be better to do for cold calls too.
What'd you say?
Cold calls.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. I'm sorry?
It goes, this platform goes beyond dating.
Yeah, it does. I agree. All right, we're going to go from Greece, now we're going to move back to Mexico for Daedalus Dynamics. Did I pronounce that? Daedalus Dynamics. And with Ariadna? Ari, with Ari. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Ari. Thank you.
So hello.
Point it that way.
This way? Okay. Hello, my name is Ariadna. You can call me Ari. I'm a co-founder of Daedalus Dynamics, and I'm here to tell you that we have a problem. We have a serious pollution problem. Globally, more than 3 million people die because of air pollution. That is more people every year than the population in Iowa State. More than 1 death in 7 worldwide is the result of environmental pollution. And yes, this includes Mexico and includes the United States. In fact, in 2012, Mexico had 15,000 deaths related to air pollution. This makes Mexico the second place for most polluted country in Latin America. And actually, I live in Monterrey, and Monterrey is the most polluted city in Latin America. I mean, I'm not proud, but it's a fact. And according to the American Lung Association, 4 out of 10 US citizens are breathing polluted air. And water is also an issue. In Mexico, for example, we have this big region called La Laguna that is bigger than the size of Texas, and the concentration of arsenic in subterranean water reaches 300 micrograms per liter of arsenic. So how bad is this, you may be wondering? Well, this is really bad. This is 30 times the maximum concentration established by the World Health Organization. And people are actually drinking this. So what are the consequences of water contamination? Well, it can come from infection of intestinal illnesses, serious medical conditions, and unfortunately, in Mexico, is the 3rd cause for children deaths in the country. So these are the major primary pollutants produced by human activity. We got SOx, NOx, CO, CO2, heavy metals such as mercury and lead, and particulates. So these contaminants are produced mainly because of oil refineries, thermoelectric plants, manufacturing industries. So we cannot ask these companies to stop producing, right? So we need a material that can trap all these pollutants. Well, there is one. It's called activated carbon. And activated carbon, it's a form of carbon that has excellent industrial properties of absorption. it kind of works like a nano maze. It's a little tiny maze that can trap all these pollutants and only allows water and air clean to come out. I'm sorry I didn't have a picture because I'm supposed to bring my prototype that we made for the lab, but at the ending the presentation I can show you a picture in my phone. But it's kind of like dust, black dust cover. So if there's a solution, why am I here talking to you? Well, there's another problem. There's a lack of a source material that is cheap, widespread, and sustainable in the long term. That is why Mexico imports 80% of the activated carbon it uses. And it's also becoming a problem to the United States because now EPA is getting stronger regulations on emissions, so companies are buying more and more and more. So this makes it hard for Mexico to buy activated carbon from the United States, and this is also a problem for the United States because they have to import it from China. So right now, activated carbon companies are making activated carbon from 3 sources. Coconut shell, that it makes high quality activated carbon, but it's geographically limited. Coal, we have the coal that you and me know. And it has the best ratio of all, but the problem with coal is that it's highly demanded by petrochemical industries. So you have to compete with that, and it's not enough, and it's expensive. And well, we have wood, and well, wood is not good for the environment, and it's also expensive. So what can we do? We need a new material which we can use to make activated carbon. So my company, the solution we met up with is chicken. Well, particularly chicken feathers. Chicken feathers are everywhere, are inexpensive bioproducts, and are unique. They have structural properties that allows us to make high quality activated carbon, the best of all, and it allows us to use it for air and water purification. So how are we transforming a low value product into activated carbon? Well, basically, long story short, we grab the feathers that are now considered not a waste, but it's a byproduct that doesn't have any value. They use it for cattle feedstock, but only because it's cheaper to use it this way than to throw it away. So we grab these feathers and then we burn them by pyrolysis, and then we obtain activated carbon at a fraction of the cost other manufacturers use. This allows us to make high quality activated carbon at a very low price, and will allow us to be a competitive company in a consolidated market. Of course, this process also has emissions, but we can use our own activated carbon to trap these emissions. So it's a sustainable process. Okay, sorry. Well, this is an overview of our business model. We focus a lot on the R&D part of the team because it's what's going to make the best high-quality activated carbon. And it is also part of our cost structure. And our revenue stream is based basically on activated carbon sales. And as we are speaking about a attainable process, we can also use the technology for licensing. So who is our competition? Well, right now in Mexico we have 4 main companies, but the biggest one, almost considered as a monopoly, it's Clarimex. It's a subsidiary from here. It's a subsidiary from Cabot, and Cabot is the leading company of activated carbon. It's in the United States. And Clarimex has a really high quality activated carbon, but its prices are high because their source material is high. And well, our opportunity area would be product confidence because, well, we're a new company. But we are sure, and we have tested that as soon as a company tries our product, they're happy with it and we gain their trust. So how big is the activated carbon market? It's huge. Actually, 2014, it was valued at $2.35 billion. And why is this? It's because not only industrial companies or manufacturing companies buy activated carbon, it is used in many other things. It's used in beer, in cigarette manufacture, in pools, in cycle filters, in any type, any way. So not only our market are these huge companies, petrochemical and oil refineries, but also we have a big, smallest market that uses activated carbon in small quantities. Sorry. So this is our achievements for the last 6 months. Actually, we only been here for 8 months. Yeah. So we won in Mexico a national competition out of 204 competing ideas. And that's why the team went to Sweden on the summer to work on the project, and it has had awesome feedback. So, and our goals for this year is to start with the first round of investment that I'm explaining a bit. But first, this is my team. I'm not alone in this. I have 5 amazing guys that help me. We have the crazy ones, the scientists, the guys that decided to burn feathers and see what happens. We have also a finance guy that is also always worried about money and about how are the investors doing. And we have an IT guy because, well, it's 2016 and we think every company needs an IT guy. And then there's me, and I'm a marketing expert, not an expert, but I'm the team that looks for marketing and also sales because it's our main revenue in this company. So we divided the investments in 2 parts. This is our first round of investment. We're bootstrapping. I mean, with this we can produce, but we cannot get into a big market because these companies buy not kilograms, buy tons and tons and thousands of tons of activated carbon. So with this, we will be giving activated carbon to smaller companies like pool filters or small water filters. But then we have the second round of investment, and with this we can really have the opportunity to enter this huge market in which companies are begging to buy low price, high quality activated carbon. Oh, sorry. So this is how we're funding. We need most of the investment for the machinery because we need a rotary kiln. And the bigger the investment, well, the bigger the kiln and the more activated carbon we can make. And in the first round, we have a projection that we will be able to produce 258 activated carbon kilograms daily. And in the second round, we can scale it to 10,000 activated carbon kilograms. So basically, we gathered together because we think that economic development should not compromise the environment. And we really want to invite you to believe in our project and to make activated carbon, high quality activated carbon, a reality for companies at a really low price. Thank you.
Questions from the judges?
Yes, oh, sorry. Okay.
Are you the first ones that came up with a further idea, or is this something that's been known for a while?
Yes, I mean, the scientists of the team read an article in which he found that feathers are a waste in the United States. Actually, the United States throw every year 4 billion feathers. And they use it for cattle, but it's not enough. And he found that feathers had these properties that matches other raw materials. So he came up with it, and it was his thesis. Is that a word in English? Yeah. His thesis project for the university.
What are the, oh, sorry.
Sorry. Oh,
sorry, I'm not a judge, but I think they'll want to know, is it patented? Are you patenting this?
No, well, we want to patent this, but we received an advice for our coach, you can say that. We don't have the legal force to defend a patent. And we are competing with companies that are well consolidated. So now we're keeping it, the chemical activation, we're keeping it as a secret, and then we're going to scale it, and then we want to patent it. But right now, it's going to become public, and we cannot defend right now a patent.
So what are the investment terms for the investors?
Well, what we have talked about is with the investor that is really involved right now, is that we're gonna have 60% of the company, and we are giving 40% to the investors.
40% for $2 million?
40%, yep.
Applications of activated carbon.
What? Sorry?
The applications of activated carbon you talked about, it needs a higher purity of the activated carbon. The feather conversion to activated carbon will create much more impurities, which will have maybe significant process changes or investment in process to make it better for the application, like water purification, beer, and all of those applications need very high quality activated.
Yes, actually, that's why we divided the market in petrochemical and energy industries. Food industry is our last segment. market segment. Because yes, they need a special sterilization. I don't know if that's the word. That's the word in English. Sterilización. Because yes, they need really clean activated carbon. But that's not a problem for oil refineries and petrochemical. Because you take feathers to such heat that it burns everything. So we don't know. I mean, we think that it would be a question in the food industry that like, okay, so your source is feathers, so maybe that's not hygienic. But we haven't run tests with food industry. Right now, we are testing this product with other type of companies that are not food.
Petrochemical, like you were saying, the first round, you don't have that production because you need lock-in farms,
Yes.
you need massive volume of feather.
We're focusing right now on companies that need it for smells, that they want to get rid of smells, pesticides, and water filters. But for especially we have a company in Monterrey that makes water filters for fish bowls. Sorry for my English.
What's the anticipated sales cycle?
The anticipated sales cycle?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a really, we have 5 really interested companies, but unfortunately with the first round we can only attend one. That is one of our main issues because activated carbon has many properties, so it's really specific depending on what you're using. So if our first client signs a contract with us, we have to focus on the first round only in that client to meet their particular needs. Because you need a specific pore size, a micro pore size, and you need a superficial area according to the process. So, I mean, this market is so big that we were sad when we found that we cannot give activated carbon to all the companies we want at the first.
And in your process, you're able to tune your product to whatever the customer needs.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's completely flexible.
One more question.
Scalability-wise, I mean, proximity to chickens. How many kilos of feathers does it take to make a kilo of carbon, and how many chickens makes that many kilos of feathers?
So we have a ratio of 6:1. 6 kilograms of feathers make 1 kilogram of activated carbon. Right now, Clarimex is making its carbon in a ratio of 3:1 in coconut shell. But well, this is our ratio is on a pre-industrial level, so we think we can get to that ratio without a problem. And feathers, well, they are 10% of a chicken. So.
But you're going to have to be near a chicken-centric environment, your plant, right?
We talked to Bachoco. There's this company that is almost a monopoly in Mexico.
It's like Tyson's here or something. You're going to go.
Actually, Bachoco bought Tyson in Mexico. There's no more Tyson in Mexico, only Bachoco. And he didn't want right now to talk with us. He sent us first to one of his subsidiaries, like small company of chicken, and they produce 60 tons of feathers every day. The small company. So Bachoco has. It's kind of a funny story. The first time we did this on a pre-industrial level, we asked for 10 kilograms of feathers from them, and they gave us 100. Like, okay, you go and take that, because they have so many. And we thought that it was going to be a problem at first, but it turns out it's not. They have plenty of feathers.
You laugh, but I heard a pitch about this in a Slovakian company, and they were turning chicken feathers into pellets for stoves. You know, the heating pellets for stoves?
There have been decades of research of what to do with the feathers because they are a problem. They're a really hygienic and pollution problem.
How long does it take them to grow their feathers back?
First. Well, these chickens are not.
I'm going to research for that.
Which came first, the chicken or the?
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I thought that was great when you were going through the progression of, you know, if you have to have so many feathers, so many chickens, so many. I thought for sure you were going to end that with, and what came first, the chicken or the egg? I thought for sure you were going to do that.
Oh, do you want to look for activated carbon? I mean, it's kind of what I described. I'm sorry I didn't have the prototype. There was a problem with my suitcase, so.
Black dust.
Exactly.
Black dust.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to go to Greece now. We have Acusonus. We've got Alex. Alex is already here, so he's going to be presenting. But once again, I want to thank and do a shout out to the Hellenic Initiative that has been very supportive and provided a great deal of funding to bring over about 50 individuals from Greece to be here today to pitch. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Alex.
Thanks for having me. So, my name is Alex Silfidis, we are Akisonus, and we are obsessed about changing the way music is produced, mixed and recorded. We sell software tools to music producers, recording studios, and sound engineers. Our patented or patent-pending algorithms are changing the music production workflow by introducing capabilities never before thought possible. And our flagship product is called Dramaton, and it's a product that allows sound engineers to obliterate what is called microphone leakage, spill or bleed in drum recordings. So this is a typical microphone setup for a drum set. As you can see, in a common case, we would need 8 to 10 microphones in order to capture the full drum sound. So we have one microphone, ideally, for each drum in order to capture each sound. But what happens in reality is that each microphone captures not only the intended sound source, but also every nearby source. And this is called microphone bleed, and it's a challenge that makes the lives of sound engineers miserable since the early beginnings of the recording. So here, for example, you can see that the hi-hat mic picks up not only the hi-hat sound, but also every other nearby drum. So Dramaton is the world's first and only drum leakage suppression tool. It has a patent-pending machine learning technology and allows sound engineers to control, for the first time in music production history, the amount of leakage in drum recordings. It's widely heralded and endorsed. It has a growing user base of thousands, and the Dramaton family of products has begun the transformation that we want to make in the music production industry. So before the first Dramaton release, we released a 1-minute video showing what Dramaton can do to the users. And we verified that there's a user need, and we've seen that people are ready to buy it, give money about it. And I guess as happened with many AI technologies, we received also some suspicion. And now, 2 years later, users are still talking about Dramaton as being a pure voodoo software, and are wondering whether we have a team consisting of Bosniaks and Einsteins. So the sound engineers that have worked with Bob Dylan, Wilco, Goo Dolls, Sia, Rush, Aerosmith, The Cure, Dream Theater, Shakira, Lionel Richie, Bjork, Sepultura, and many more have endorsed Dramaton and use it in their current productions. But the first version of Dramaton removed microphone leakage, but we soon realized that we are in front of an even bigger opportunity. So instead of just removing microphone leakage in adjacent microphones, let's say removing the snare leakage in the hi-hat mic, we can extract the snare sound from the hi-hat mic and use it in order to enhance the snare sound itself. So imagine that we pick up and extract the snare sound for every available microphone, and then give the means to the sound engineer to combine the sounds and create a new, previously unheard snare sound. And we can do this for every available drum. The new Dramaton, So this is a demo, unfortunately. This is how we extract the snare sound from the overhead microphone. This is picked up from microphones that are not intended to capture snare. And this is the kick microphone. And now we can combine all snare microphones and create a previously unheard snare. And we can do that for every drum element and create a new drumming. So it's before, so that was a quick demo of what our new technology can do. And that's not it. with our vision, we plan to do this for more than drums. So imagine that today sound engineers face a great challenge when they have to pick up sound from many musicians playing together because of the leakage. And we plan to bring this technology breakthrough in every instrument. So now musicians performing in the same room is an advantage. They can pick up every sound from every microphone, combine them, and create a new musical experience. So today, recording studios actually isolate the performance in order to obtain a leakage-free sound. So this kills the vibe and the live energy of a band playing together. This is something that no one wants in the music industry. Without technology, this becomes a new advantage. They can combine the sounds from every available microphone and create a new sound. And eventually this extends to the live concert and the live stage and the concert world. We already have a real-time prototype of Dramaton. We have already tackled the challenges associated with this type of heavy real-time processing and machine learning that is needed in real-time applications like the live stage. So we are a team of 10 in Greece. We combine a strong engineering background, we have a deep knowledge of artificial intelligence, and we all have a strong passion for great music. We expect to be profitable in the next 12 to 18 months. And we are now looking to raise around 500K in order to build out mainly our product development, but mostly sales and marketing efforts. So if you want to jump into the exciting world of Pro Audio, please talk to me later.
Questions from the judges?
Alex, what's the size of the market you can address?
Of course, I was expecting this question.
Point to that.
Okay. So there are 6 million DAW digital audio workstation users active. The computer software market is $500 million per year, and the professional audio, the live market is 1.5 billion. These are more or less the numbers of the market. It's not a huge market, but it's a market that we can make a difference.
Where are the patents filed?
We have 5 patents filed in the US. The one is already granted in a record time. It took us only 2 years. We have one file patented in the EPO, too. Actually, we work with our investor is Michael Janes. He's the former CEO of Aware. It's a Boston-based NASDAQ company that practically did a lot of work in patent management, and they owned the DSL patents. So he helped us a lot in this aspect.
What's the lag in the real-time processing?
Sorry?
So in the real-time processing, so what's the lag? It takes some time.
Yeah, we have now achieved less than 10 milliseconds, which is really acceptable in big concerts. So we have already talked to big manufacturers of lab equipment, and we are okay with their limits.
In addition to making the sound engineer's life a lot easier by being able to record and get the quality done the first time right,
Yeah.
is there a financial benefit as well? Is it cheaper from them to buy your product?
Yes,
I can
because
get the album done in half as much time, and I don't need to pay people
yeah,
to do it.
you are exactly right. Because right now, when a band records in a studio, its musician records sequentially, because they have to be recording alone. If they work all together, the recording time is somehow divided by, I don't know, 4, 5. So it's probably less money for the studio owners. Another good thing, because that would be bad for our clients, is that with this thing, the small studios can compete with the big premises. Because when you have a huge premise and you can separate the musicians, although they are in the same room, and you can have less leakage and have better sound. Now the small studios can compete with the big studios, so it would be a good thing for them.
So your patents only cover music, or this technology can be used for
Yeah.
a lot of other things? You can find out where a gunshot came from, anything. You know?
Yeah, and we are very careful, and our patents cover also medical imaging, and practically they are signal processing patents. Although we are trying to apply them in music, which is our specialty. And after 3 years, we know the industry quite well.
Okay.
What are the investment terms for 500,000? What's your valuation?
Yeah, right now we're about 3 million. We're looking at a valuation of 3 million. But and we're also exploring some port opportunities if we find a very important person in the industry that will open some doors for us.
What's the biggest hurdle for you to get into the industry?
I'll be honest with you, it's the inertia of the sound engineer's workflow. These people are professionals, they don't have time to lose. We are bringing something that they, as you've seen from the reaction, consider a breakthrough. And we've changed it. Now we're in the third iteration. It's the first time that we can say that we adapted our product to their workflow, and we don't ask them to change the workflow just to incorporate our breakthrough. So this is the biggest problem for us, because there are decades that people were living with this problem. They have workarounds, and now we have a new solution. They accept that this is good, but everyday life for them is tough. So we have to give them something that's really usable. And
I think an analogous thing to this is auto-tune.
yeah,
It's very. I don't know if you know but it's really kind of
To my
similar.
regret, yes.
Yeah. Well, I know, but I mean, it's the way it was adopted was kind of organic, because this one. Anyway, you know the story, but
yeah. Actually, one of our idols is a famous heavy metal sound engineer. Actually, the heavy metal guys are our greatest fans, because the drum sound is really important in this music. So for the last decade, they were actually replacing the drummer. In order to avoid leakage, they threw out the recording and they just recreated it with samples. So now, for the first time, most of the big heavy metal bands can use the real drummer again, and it's a great thing. So the analogy for them is like the first time they've seen a digital console, which is a huge compliment for us.
I had drum leakage, but I went to my doctor, and you can get a cream for that now.
Is it adult drops? Thank you for sharing. All right, Alex, thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, now we have Alexis. Where's Alexis? All right, Alexis with Asimov Group. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah.
Asimov?
Yeah.
Okay, Asimov Group. And Alex, you're from Mexico.
Yeah.
Where in Mexico?
Which part?
Yeah.
León, Guanajuato.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm trying to buy time while we get your
How's your family?
Yeah. Kids doing okay?
I'm going to join him.
And you are who?
I'm his teammate.
You're his teammate. Do you have a name?
Pepe.
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 Okay, Alexis and Pepe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Alexis and Pepe.
That's actually really cool.
It's always in you, buddy.
And he's right. There's
Okay.
applications that have nothing to do with music.
He did that. Start another one. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
So is your company named after the author?
Sorry?
Is your company named after the author, Isaac Asimov?
Yeah.
Bonus points for me. I like you already.
Well, that's not the presentation, but
Yeah. Okay. My name is Alexis Cachola, and I'm a robotics guru. Not necessarily because I am the most important person in the world, but because I like to share my knowledge and experience of robotics with other persons. I have experience for more than 4 years in robotics competitions, and it took me a lot of time to learn about robotics. So what I plan to do in my project is to make the first ecosystem of robotics in Mexico. There is a huge problem in Mexico and in Latin America and in the world, that is the low flow of knowledge and development of robotics in Mexico. So we plan to make this ecosystem. This ecosystem is based in 4 areas. One laboratory, specialized laboratory, workshops that are specialized courses of robotics, kits, and the 4 workshops, labs, kits, and events. Yeah, really, sorry. I need a presentation. To explain more deep these 4 areas, I like to give you an example, and I want to think about one guy of 70 years old that is studying high school. I call him Pedrito. It's a very common name in Mexico. Imagine Pedrito. He's a high school student. He's 70 years old, but his biggest problem is that he doesn't know how to change a light bulb. So his dreams to become Iron Man are frustrated. So there is where this ecosystem is involved. So how does it work, this ecosystem? This ecosystem works in the next way. We give workshops, courses to Pedritos, and with sophisticated and specialized kids, we teach them through the philosophy of crafting. What is crafting? Crafting is when you make something, when you make stuff, when you make technology from zero. You have to take all that knowledge. You don't buy a kit that is not customizable. It's customizable. You can make it from zero. Then Pedrito have to absorb this knowledge through some participation. So we make the events. An example, I have experience. We let's say take this solution because nine months ago, in collaboration with the Tecnológico Monterrey, that is a very famous university in our country, we organized the most important tournament of robot sumo in Mexico. So when we organized, we realized that a lot of people want to participate in this event, but they didn't have the knowledge to make a competitive robot. So we said, well, how we transfer all this knowledge to the people. So we made the workshops, and then, okay, you teach them, but they have to go to the event, to the tournament, participate, and do a good job, a good participation in the tournament. So we designed a specialized kit of robotics, and then we got like 60 participants registered in our workshop, and all these participants take place in the event, and two of these 60 participants win second place and fourth place in the event. So our ecosystem is validated. So So only we need is that we need to make a laboratory because institutions in Mexico are not equipped with the specialized tools like 3D printing, CNC machines, and all that stuff. So we need to make a laboratory to transfer all this knowledge. We are asking $35,000 of inversion to equip this laboratory because also we don't have to improve our workshops. We have our methodology. The people is learning in Mexico with our methodology, but they don't have the laboratory. So the problem is in the laboratory. That's what we want to do. I'm a little bit nervous. I hope that you understand the solution to the problem. Well, only this project is very powerful because don't only pretend to impact educational area in Mexico. It aims to impact industry in Mexico also. With this laboratory, specialized laboratory, we want to other startups, other companies of development go to the laboratory and start develop their projects in the laboratory. Well, it's all. Yeah.
It sounds like your ecosystem sounds like very comparable to the first competition, the Dean Payment.
Yeah, there is a lot of competition. You also can compare it to Bex Robotics, to Lego. Lego do the same stuff. But the difference between Lego, Bex, or first competition to us is we don't have like a established kit. Our kits are customizable. We teach them how to make things, how to design a software or mechanics, how to design program, how to program. Sorry, and it's a big difference. We get from zero, knowledge from zero, and people can make their projects from zero. And our strongest area is not the kits; it's the workshops, the methodology we give to the people that are interested in robotics.
So how are you making your money?
We have like a very bad way to sell our kits because we are starting. So we have sell like 80 kits, but are like prototypes. So we haven't have a like.
Well, but like, what's the price point?
The price?
Yeah.
The price of a kit is like $250.
Okay.
Let me explain a little bit more. We offer workshops. These are courses, and for these courses, it's pretended to be.
It's blacked out with the workshops right there.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, these workshops are offered to the students, and they learn from design, programming, mechanical stuff, things that are from zero to a full project.
So you make money. You're going to run out of time here. So you make money on workshops, memberships, and kits.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And also another thing is that we are organizing events. So the events are organized with the help of the government and companies from the outside. We have a contract with Fujisoft, that's a Japanese software company, who organizes robotics competition in Japan. And we're now being like the mediator between the Mexican government resource and this company from Japan. So we are managing and involved in the organization of the courses, and we have 20% profit of the total cost of the event. So that's the three ways that we make money.
How do you? How much are you raising?
We're asking for $35,000.
$35,000?
Yeah, $35,000. Probably this looks like a huge project because it involves everything, like from starting the you have a workshop. In this workshop, we use the kits that we made. We made these kits and we use them in the workshop. So the student use them, and then we organize the competition so the student don't stop in just like having the project done. So he shows the project to the world in this competition or in this exposition, fair exhibit. So it doesn't stop there. So probably this looks like a big, huge project, but in Mexico it's not like the technology there is not consolidated. He was telling you that the institutions don't have the equipment, the necessary equipment to do this kind of project. We actually have contract with 2 major institutions, the Technological of Monterrey, this is the university, and 2 other high schools, which they are asking us for courses so they are asking us for courses, but they say, well, I like your methodology, but how can we make it bigger? How can we teach our students more? And we say we need equipment. We need to teach them how to use a 3D printer, how to design the part, and then print how to use a CNC machine, how to design from zero. So we need equipment. So that's why we decided to build the lab.
Is that enough money?
Yeah, that's enough money. For a beginning point, that's enough money.
Is there an accreditation issue to teach? Not the teachers, but the courseware. I mean, here you would have, if a university was using it, it would have to be accredited by whatever the accrediting agency is for that university.
Yes, that's where we put something here. Well, I think I missed it, but there's a part of the money that is designated to the certification of our teachers and our structure, like licensing, certificates and programs.
Kids, and why don't you create a course online with Coursera and sell the kids, because people or kids can learn online, they don't have to be co-located with you, and because they can make more money off of the kids.
Yes, that would be the
It's good money in the events too, though. Getting everyone together and all the advertising, and many other things you can do.
One more question? You good?
Which is the one we're at.
All right, Alexis and Pepe, thank you. All right. All right, next we have Ricardo with Call Picker from Mexico. Ricardo, are you here?
I'm here. Yeah.
You're here. You coming from this?
Yeah.
Hi, Ricardo. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Thank you. Waiting till they do this as well.
Oh yeah, you're gonna buy 10 minutes.
Are you? We got Call Picker, so they're ready to go. There you go. All right. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh no, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Hello everyone. Here's my co-founder Joaquin Martinez, and I'm Rick. And this is Call Picker, the first mobile enterprise communication platform. Well, how do we move this?
Point that way. Stand over that side too.
There you go. Thank you so much. Well, the problem we solve is when businesses miss calls, right? They're basically losing customers and they're losing money. Because when a customer calls in your business, they basically want to make a purchase or they want customer support. Yeah. But the problem is that current solutions don't solve this problem quite well. I mean, even if you have a phone line, right? Even if you have a phone system, I mean, that doesn't solve the problem of missing customers. And frankly, current solutions are too complicated. I mean, try any phone system. It's complicated, it's obsolete, it's expensive. And even if you have this, you're not solving the problem. And they promised us that voice over IP, VoIP, was going to address these concerns, it was going to address these problems. But frankly, it didn't. It's even more complicated than traditional phone systems. I mean, you need to have special network equipment so you can have perfect internet control, quality of service and everything. And the other thing is, it's more expensive than traditional solutions. And even if that worked, I mean, have you tried having a business phone conversation like on voice over IP on AT&T? And if you think that's bad, my God, try Telex. It's awful, right? It's awful. Next one, please. And the other problem is that enterprise communications haven't evolved the same way personal communications have. I mean, Personal communications went from having awful flip phones to smartphones. But enterprise communications are basically the same phone 40 years ago, just with a slightly larger screen, and they replaced the traditional cable with an internet cable, right? It doesn't solve the problem. Next, please. And this problem is suffered by over 16 million businesses only in Latin America, and there are over 700 million phone lines. At the US, and you have over 45 million businesses suffering this problem, and over 1 billion mobile phone lines. Next, please. That's why we built CallPicker, the first mobile enterprise communications platform. Basically, we provide a phone number we can do anywhere in the US. We can make 96 cities in Mexico and Latin America. And when customers call in, you're going to sound professional. Not Bank of America professional, but truly professional, right? And anyone in your business can make and receive calls using their mobile phone. Anyone. Basically, you don't need to have the old phone that you have on your desktop. And what we basically accomplished is, just like Steve Jobs and just like the iPhone combined an iPod, an internet communicator, and a phone in a single device. The major innovation that we have accomplished is that we have combined traditional landline telephony, phone systems, and mobile telephony on a single service, on a single product, just like AT&T, just like if AT&T offered all of this as a bundle, as a single service, right? And if that wasn't great enough, right? If that wasn't great, basically we replaced your desk phone with this. If that wasn't great enough, we built the equivalent of Google Analytics, but for the phone. We provide business owners visibility and control over what's happening with their phone lines. Like, are you missing calls? Are you losing customers? Is your customer being treated well? And this is not only an idea. This is a business, right? We just hit 50,000 served customers. And over 80% of our customer base, our existing customer base, has brought at least one recommended lead. Next, please. Unit economics are so great and lifetime value is so great. Why? Because remember, they have their main business phone with our platform. I mean, any other existing solution, they would have to buy a phone system, go to Telmex and buy a phone line, and have a third party for mobile phones. We are closing. The unit economics are so great because basically, we provide customers their mobile plan with voice and data. We provide them with their business number, and we provide them with their phone system. And in analytics, that's why unit economics are so great. And customers, they can't leave. Any other alternative is too expensive or too complicated. And we also have unfair advantages. I mean, we accomplish this because we have a license, so we can be a phone company. We have 100% proprietary technology. We don't have to pay anyone a dime for a license. And the other thing is, timing is key. Like in Mexico, just a major telecom reform just passed. We are in Mexico, just like in the US, before the fortunes made with Ring Central, Grasshopper, and many of these companies. That's where we are in Mexico right now. And David Hauser, the Grasshopper is the biggest phone system provider in the US, recently acquired by Citrix. He's our advisor. He built this from the ground up. He knows how to do stuff. Next, please. And the team is key. For example, my co-founder, this wasn't possible if we hadn't an all-star team. My co-founder, he worked for Microsoft for Windows Online division. He sealed the Windows 8 approval. He worked on that team. I mean, Windows 8 wasn't his fault. But he knows how to work with billions of data points and run cloud infrastructures at a low cost. And those ideas, we brought them into the surface. And actually, we have people working from former engineers from across town. We have working them on our company. So we have top talent. And we've been received a bunch of awards and mentioned and featured by top tech publications in Mexico and the US. And fun fact, I mean, current investors, they have over 500 startups. We were flying from Mexico to here to TVS. And the funny thing is, we were flipping through the magazine, and we found that basically these guys are customers, real estate company. These guys are customer, it's a golf course, and it's great to see that what you do, you're just flipping on a random magazine and you see your customers there. It's amazing. And next, please. I mean, I mean, that's it for today. I mean, that's all. If you guys want to try it, I mean, you can dial that number, and this is my extension. That's a US number. All right. Thank you so much.
What are you looking to raise, and what is your growth plan?
All right. Basically, we are looking to raise $1.2 million. And the reason the purpose of that money, this is basically not a tech problem. All right. This is not a technology problem. This is a marketing problem. It is who gets there first. All right. So basically, we're going to be using 80% of that money for user acquisitions. I mean, we have specific and very well worked acquisition channels. But we need to test those acquisition channels from larger scale and test new acquisition channels. I mean, honestly, businesses, not all of them transact online, even here in the U.S. in the Midwest. And we have to put awareness efforts so CallPicker can be in front of millions of customers. That's what we need.
So you're working over the data plan that you're transferring the phone to everybody's cell phone.
Yeah.
You're assuming the phones are connected to Wi-Fi. Otherwise, people are paying their own minutes or so then it comes back to the same problem with quality of service. So you have the same issue with voice over IP. Now you have the same issue with wireless application. So you need a very high quality, right, to achieve, like have almost consistent quality across all users in their workplace, right? I mean, a router can handle so many phone lines and data at the same time.
Well, there's quite a precision. We don't need to use not even our own voice over IP. I mean, calls are always over voice networks. I mean, not over the network 4G or data. No, it always goes over voice network. I mean, that's way better than having a call over IP. We don't use voice over IP specifically because of that reason. Because I mentioned that because we could provide you, I mean, you're paying AT&T. I'm sure you're on your business, you're using, I don't know, another provider, let's say Verizon, and I'm sure you bought a Cisco or a Avaya phone system. You have 3 separate providers for the same thing. We can, with a single company, you can have with CallPicker your data plan, you can have your phone plan, like your voice plan, you can have the phone system, and you can have your landline, your business landline, and you are only looking one provider, only one company. We're combining all that and providing it for every single person in your company.
Any other questions?
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you. Great. Thank you for having us. Of course. All right. Next, we're going to have Furio from Drinkout. And where's Furio? There's Furio. Okay. And I think this is the first Italian presenter that we have today. So we're in Italy.
The company is based in Reggio Emilia, near Reggio Emilia. We also have a location near Treviso, H Farm, and then after Milano.
You're from where?
Milano.
Milano, okay.
Just there, buonasera.
Buonasera. Buenos dias.
Guys, please welcome Furio with Drinkout. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Next slide, please. Oh, that's okay. There's a problem with the lifestyle, and although it doesn't have to do only with commerce and the technologies that support it have contributed to it. This quote here that singles out one of the issues, which is time, and takes Drinkout as one of the possible, one of the range of solutions, is from a beverage analyst, but we can all agree that the issues go beyond just the beverage or the leisure market. So the current system has a lot that needs to be designed for a lot of participants, not just the users, but also brands, for example. Now, Alessandro Calzolari, who is the CEO, before he became an entrepreneur, he was working for a number of years with many high-profile brands, luxury brands. And from the point of view of the consumer, there is a problem because the traditional forms of utility that are part of the experience, a real-life experience that people have, and shape their lifestyle and quality of life are not reflected. There's not just price, there is price, of course, there's product fit, there should be product fit, not just because somebody tells you for a month or in a row that this is the product that you want, but because it really is what you want. You want to share it with the right people, in the right place, at the right time, fast, and also with quality of time. In addition to that, both the venues and events, as well as the brands that participate in the commerce process, do not have as much of a connection to the consumers, and that's reflected as it would like to be, and that's reflected in more difficulty and more expense in reaching them and finding the right thing and overall lower experience. Now, our vision is something where the current system moves with our help to something that's much more integrated together. And our role, as we see it, is to remove or at least shorten these arrows here that generate additional cost and additional time. Where we're at the point where the instant commerce model is something where everybody's connected, all the elements of the commerce are together, we're kind of forming the glue to it. That sounds a lot close to being an ecosystem, and in fact that's what we're hoping to do. Yes, an ecosystem, but not just something like a matrix or a Facebook where people spend hours and hours and hours of time without having anything particular done in regard to commerce. It's something that is designed, streamlined, and finalized with the idea of providing a venue for commerce. So our users right now spend on average 3.5 minutes, a little bit less than 3.5 minutes per day on the app. And that's probably about right, considering that right now we're just focusing on beverage and leisure as well as the main market, as to be able to find the right deal and find the right people to share it with. If you're interested in looking how this works, these are the screens that you can see. We're now available on both the Google Play and iOS store, and I'm available during the day if somebody wants to try it out and sign up and see how that works. This is what the dashboard, which is what our customers see on the venue side, so clubs, bars, and so on. And it allows them to keep track of what's going on just with the products, promotions, who's there, which of the customers are there individually as a group, and it's just one of the many screens. One of the more interesting technologies, and I'll preface something that you see in just a little bit. Being an entrepreneur means to have a vision that is not the technology. The technology supports your vision, but technology is not the vision. So what we have is we have a number of technologies that are working together to support the overall goal of transforming the lives of the consumer. This is one of them. In fact, it brings together two different ones. We are talking about proximity technology and mobile technology. And the idea that here, and in fact it's already in place, is that the app interface, the look and also the functionality changes depending on proximity with a particular location, the event or the brand that is associated with it. And what it allows us to do is, allows us to have an app that does much more with the same one, which is in line with the trend with the user preferences are anyway. This is photo streaming. And photo streaming is also not a unique technology. And in fact, even though we are trying to incorporate the best mix, we are not necessarily just followers in terms of photo streaming, selection algorithms, and proximity technology. We are actually innovating and we are adapting the technology in accordance with our needs, and we're in the forefront of doing that. Photo streaming, even though it's not a new technology, is a let me go back on that for a second. No, but we'll go back to that for a second. It helps in the case of an event such as South Southwest, creating, but also any type of venue, cement the connection between the online and the offline. This is one of the reasons why we have this product here called Deeper, as well as the selection algorithms that are embedded in the app. And one of the reasons why we have a good pulse on what the customers do, or what the consumers do. In the case of this particular capability, we can actually qualitatively and quantitatively define areas of behavior, consumer dynamics that are going on the web that can reflect into sales or marketing opportunity. Talk about, how to present a product, and also all the way down to making a sales pitch. In this case, I call it the case of kitchen manufacturer that got filtered through this. The message was somebody that was interested in a chat room asking about how to go about selecting the kitchen, and he was able to place a call and talk to the person and agree with them to have a demo. So very powerful. The question is, of course, will there be spread of this? Will be traction? And the answer to that is so far adopting this model, which relies on concerts and other large events for people to download and then using the app in their area with local venues and generating the interest there, the pool. We have exposed since last year about 80,000 people, and so far we have 12,000 users registered. In addition to that, we have about 150 venues, just over that, and so far 60 events are on contract as well for a combined attendance of about 2 million people during this year. Okay. On the side of the revenue, the question is, of course, you have all that traction, doesn't mean there's going to be revenue. The question is, really, do we have a pretty diversified, and we do, a diversified revenue stream here, where we rely on subscriptions, also transaction fees, and also analytics and services fees that are independent and have value irrespective of the number of users. So we built a model that is not only diversified, it's robust. We do not rely on users necessarily. We don't rely on beacons. I'll tell you in a second what that has to do with. We don't rely on venues. We are going to be able to move no matter what because we're working on the right lead at any point in time. Okay. This is an example of a deal. 400,000 people for a festival this year. 80 days, and we have a set of basic services and a set of ancillary services that are higher level that will be available to them. Roughly the benefit will be in the order, to them will be in the order of 25 to 50 cents per attendance. On the side of the brand, the biggest benefit, and the people that we talk to in the brand, and we've had a lot of conversation and deals with them, they recognize the opportunity that this gives to at least complement, if not replace, our traditional advertising campaigns, because you can reach the consumer at the point of purchase with the right offer, rather than hope that they're going to make a purchase after you've been spending millions of dollars and months bombarding them with the idea this is what they want. Okay. I'm not sure why that one got skipped, but anyway. The proximity technology is one of the keys to it, but it's not, like I said, it's only one of the strands of technology. If you are signing, and in fact there's one of these, this is active right now for this room, and if you sign up for it, it's called a beacon, and it uses Bluetooth or energy technology, and it's good for 6 months. So if you have the app and you connect your Bluetooth enabled, you can actually log in. You can see excuse me. You can see the just check that. You can see this room at this time, and if you have more users, then we would be able to, they're all connected, we can send it, somebody who's interested in meeting, say, I have my pitch at this and this time, can you come and meet me? And by the way, we also have refreshments or whatever else you're interested in, because people have the ability to select their preferences as far as taste on that. So it simplifies interaction in a business setting as well. At the same time, it stimulates conversation and consumption, but without interfering with the goal of the meeting or the goal. Our timeline is reflective of all the accomplishment, all the work that we've been doing. The objective is to, by the end of next year, is to be completely self-sustaining in the sense of the business model, at least for leisure commerce, because the cost and the revenue of acquiring the revenue from each user will be several-fold the cost of acquiring the user. To get to that point, we are going to require, so far we spent $350,000 to get to this point. With $5 million, we can get to the point where this is completely proven and self-sustaining with regard to anything that has to do with leisure, entertainment, and beverage. And later on, the idea is to take the model and expand it. There's actually as much motivation for going outside, and we've already tested with places like banks and so on that are interested in the same thing, but to extract the maximum potential out of this for the entire globe, and anything discretionary purchase, in particular purchases that are made locally, in person, or shared with somebody else. We have a team that's very balanced, it's very committed, and dedicated to the effort. We have all the required competencies in place for marketing, brand experience, technology, operations, engineering processes, and so on. And we also have 3 critical equity partners here, which are well-known, certainly Italian area, and we're also doing deals with others. They're not equity partners, but we have a number of other partnerships also that support the goals here, both in the side, on the side of event promotions, brands, and so on.
Probably you get that way. Pointed at Dave.
Okay, so one of the competencies that we have is we've been able to address from the operational point of view the right levers and the right metrics to be able to establish the results that we're trying to get. Cheers.
What questions do you guys have?
So did I look at that right? You have 10,000 active users? You have the latest. The latest, you have that? You also have like a competition slide that you scanned over.
Oh,
right?
yes. I talked about
Point it that way.
Point it this way, sorry. Yes. I did not skip it. I'm not sure if it got stuck or what happened there, but yes. The competitors are taking. Okay. So sorry, it's a little hard to see, but they are companies that do event promotions, they do event agencies, they do tabs online, so you can decide how much you should pay a waiter. They get in touch with other people, go to events, and they also can get you to sign in and order drinks. But they don't do the entire ecosystem part. They just do a little slice at a time. And what happens is you cannot change the lifestyle of a consumer, the lifestyle of somebody by doing one app at a time. All you end up with is a proliferation of apps, and we all know that that's not the way that the user wanted anyway. And you're gonna have hope for a merger or something like that. But even if you do that, the architecture is different. So there's nothing you can do. You need to create an ecosystem that is organic, that can bring all those capabilities together. That's why we are we're in a very good head start position to be able to do this, and even with in respect of the head start, there is the fact that we have anything that's in line with what the trends are at the right.
Did you you already spent 350 or you're raising 350?
No, we spent.
And now are you raising?
No, we're raising 5.
5. Yeah, that you're
five is 5 is the next 5 next layer, so it'll be 5 plus minus the 350, so it'll be less. So it's layers. Okay. And as I said, just to reiterate that's to extract all the potential areas self-sustaining in the areas that are traditionally more trendy, like music, entertainment, beverages, and everything. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you, Fury.
Thank you very much.
Good job. All right, the next presentation that we have is from Delta Signal, which is a company associated with Startup Mexico. They're here today. And Enrique, we want to welcome you to the International Accelerator activities here.
Thank you very much.
Thank
it's
you.
a pleasure to be here.
Likewise. Well, good luck.
Thank you. Well, hello everyone. My name is Enrique Garcia.
Better stand on that side to get a good click.
Okay.
And point that way.
Yeah. My name is Enrique Garcia and I'm the CEO and founder of Delta Signals. I am from Mexico City. I still live in Mexico City. And some years ago I had to experience firsthand what it means to experience a huge earthquake in the city. And apart from the obvious destruction, the thing that stressed you the most was not just what fell, but how is everything? Is my house safe? Are the hospitals safe? The building that I'm standing at, is it safe? So that was very stressful. And the other part was the citizens and also the government didn't know where to send rescue teams or emergency resources. It was chaos. We have improved a little bit, but the thing is that the problem that we are attacking now is the integrity of a structure may be compromised because of a major event, such as not just an earthquake, but it could be a tornado, a hurricane, or a tsunami. And what we've seen is that these damage assessments are going to be very expensive. It takes time, and most of the time are inconclusive. It makes no sense that if you want to make an assessment for your building, it takes weeks or months to know if it's okay. It could be too late. And basically, and literally, this puts thousands of lives in danger. Our solution is a real-time monitoring system on which you will be able to optimize these emergency resources, and you will be able to gather historical data. What is the market size? This is a huge opportunity, and it's a global one. And what we have to do to kind of get a grasp on this opportunity, I'm going to concentrate on 4 figures that I'm going to mention to you. As of today, there are 66,000 bridges in the United States that are structurally deficient. 11% are in critical condition. So that's one of the things, just to mention something. The other is, just in San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Seattle, there are 1,900 high-rises and buildings that need to be measured. And obviously, it's obvious that they are on a seismic area, all those cities. Mexico has beautiful beaches and beautiful forests and jungles, but we have more than 14,000 hotels and infrastructure that are either on a seismic zone or in a hurricane zone. So that's also a risk. In Southeast Asia, we have 700 high-rises and buildings. And funny enough, in the next 5 to 10 years, the 10 biggest buildings in the world are going to be built in Southeast Asia. What are our market segments? Because of this, what we've done is that we decided to concentrate in 4 segments. First of all, to monitor the critical infrastructure of the public sector. That is bridges, roads, subways, airports, you name it. Obviously, intelligent buildings, skyscrapers, high-rises. We want to also monitor the industry, but not just the industry as such, but manufacturing plants, oil and gas, oil rigs maybe, chemical plants, pharma plants. And also work with insurance companies so we can help them monitor their customers. On our business model, where is our revenue coming from? We have 2 ways to get it. First, with an upfront payment when we start a project, with the charging of the seismic devices themselves, the software licensing, and the training. And then we will get a monthly recurring revenue from support maintenance and analytics. This is the core team of Delta Signals. And let me start with my business partner, Rogelio Nava. He has more than 20 years of experience in IT companies, in the financial companies also. He has been the security officer in some of the banks in Mexico and financial institutions, and he has lots of experience in implementing systems, security, and project management. Myself, I'm the CEO and founder. I have more than 25 years of experience working in the IT market. I work for HP, for Microsoft, and from Dell. So I've got a chance to be in Austin a couple of times thanks to that. And basically, obviously we have to interact with 3 parts of our extended team that are civil engineers, the structural engineers that help us with their knowledge, software engineers, and mechatronic engineers to get both the software and our devices. What are our competitive advantages? First of all, our technological integration. We are getting state-of-the-art hardware and Internet of Things enabled devices, so we can with this product, with this device. We have signed a collaboration agreement with one of the most important processor makers in the world. We'll see that in a couple of slides. And we have already worked on that. We have filed our patent here in the US Patents Office and also in Mexico. And obviously, this is as soon as we can get this offer ready in Mexico City, the very same we can have it ready for North America, Asia Pacific, anywhere in the world. Our traction. We've been a company just for 8 months. And I think, to be completely objective, that we have accomplished a lot of things. We have signed a collaboration agreement with Intel. We are building our prototype and everything in their design center in Guadalajara. We're part of their small and medium business laboratory lab in Guadalajara. We are part now officially as part of the National Council of Science and Technology. We're part of that. We're a Mexican company that is producing technology. We have spoken and we are working currently with the Instituto de Ingeniería de la UNAM, one of the leading universities of Latin America, if not the first one. And we are developing and getting the knowledge of these guys into our project. We have commercial validations from one of the main constructors in the world and an insurance company. We have worked with ProMexico, and also we have a very strong relationship with Startup Mexico because they are our mentors and it's like our alma mater practically. So that's the traction that we have had. And basically what I would like to close my presentation with is with a call out to let's be proactive, not reactive. We got a chance to save lives, and we got a chance to do some things, not just waiting for these major events to hit, but we can do some things prior to that. That's my presentation, and I will
Yes. What exactly is the technology? I mean, how do you monitor the health of the building or bridge or?
We use a two-part system. The first of all are hardware devices that are interconnected between them, and you put it in a structure. And then you get the second part, that is the software that reads those devices. And we have our proprietary technology, both from the hardware and the software, and we get it together. And we enable this, and all this data goes to the cloud. It's hosted in the cloud. Obviously, if something happens, we don't want to be compromised our information by having something on the ground or even in our instances. We have it on the cloud, and we have to be able to monitor and to offer the customer a control panel so they could see what is going on with their structure.
So let's say high rise. How many devices does it need in order for you to monitor?
Obviously, that depends on the number of. But what we do is that we have a basic package that is the software, is the installation and kind of the brain of the whole thing, and approximately depends on the structure, the size, but between 20 to 30 devices per floor.
And how expensive are the devices?
Right now, we're getting to that, and because as soon as we get our first big sale, what we want to do is obviously we already started speaking about this with Intel, for example, and we get as soon as we get traction, we can get better costs for that.
These are permanently installed. They're always there. Always send data back.
Yes.
Are they powered off the grid, or are they battery, or both?
It's a combination. I can tell you all about.
Because you're going to lose power when you get your earthquake.
Absolutely, and that's in the States. In Mexico, forget it. You will lose power and you will lose all the networks of communication. So yeah, we thought into that. Yeah. Absolutely.
So part of this the hardware or the communication between the hardware? Because I mean the sensors are existing in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So what's different?
There are two things that are different. First of all, the concept that we're measuring, because it's not like a 2D or some just sensors. We're making a virtual grid of the structure. And second is our application and our software, what it does with that, because this is just the beginning. Let me tell you that my vision, I have a big vision for the next 5 years. First of all, to offer, for example, the mayor of Mexico City or the mayor of Los Angeles a control panel on which, if a major disaster hits, he can pinpoint, like for example in a Google Maps or something, he can pinpoint where to send those emergency resources. And second, and more from business point of view, what I want to do in 5 years is that I have gathered a lot of historical data, and I have a huge amount of data. What do we want to do with that data? Obviously, we can do whatever we want. So we can use that data historically, not just because of an earthquake, but we can use it proactively.
Are you thinking the major market is a government agency that will monitor infrastructure, or
like Homeland Security?
Yeah.
That is what I would think. And the other business area I thought you might think of is the actual electrical grid.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's my number one. The critical monitoring of the monitoring of critical infrastructure for the public sector, and that's it. The reactors, the grid, airports, yeah, you name it, ports.
What are you looking to raise and
Pipelines.
Where you go?
Pipelines. Pipelines.
Pipelines, yeah, oil rigs, refineries, yeah. We're looking for 700,000, and that will get us through our the first year. So we are doing with that. We are preparing for a huge sale because if for example, we get a building, we need all those to manufacture all those devices and to be able to put them, to install them, and one step ahead of that, we need to finish just our field tests. That's it.
Are these devices, do you manufacture them yourself, or are they?
Right now, because in our lab we're playing with that and we're doing it, but we plan to have some kind of partnership to help us mass produce them.
I just had another random thought. It seems to me that on buildings, what you ought to target is the ones that aren't built yet. Because you install them as it goes up versus retrofitting a building.
Yes, one of our differences is that these devices, at this point in time, are this big. So we can install them in the buildings that are already there.
Yeah, but it's going to be easier if you're doing it as it's getting built.
Absolutely, but we're not closing our market to the new buildings. We can do it with the ones that are already there.
With the insurance company, I think that was a great move. But they need to give discounts to the businesses.
There are two ways that it was interesting for the insurance company. One is that if some building is already monitored by this solution, their prima, I don't know, their insurance fee is going to be lower, and they can be more competitive towards other insurance companies. And second, they can get a more precise measurement once the damage has been done, because as of today, they need to send experts and do visual inspections, and it takes months. And with this, they can have like hard data that something is damaged, and it's better for them to pay for those damages.
One more question.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
I know in our program it says there's a break. There actually is somebody else that is about to pitch, but we have a gentleman here that can come and pick up the green screen, so if you'll give us 2 minutes so that he can do that. By the way, you need any help?
Who's going to pitch?
The next pitch is going to be Hector with Amity. Where's Hector? Hector, where are you from?
And then do we get the break?
From Mexico, from Guadalajara.
Guadalajara?
And break after that?
No, actually, from that point on, we're still going. But if anyone has to go to the bathroom, that would be a really good time to do it. Yeah, it is. It's well.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm going to bail briefly.
Okay.
Have you found any?
Oh, yes, I understand. Thank you so much.
What about the Victoria?
Well, he's doing that. This is fucking cut up. This is just, it's nonstop.
It's really rough.
Yeah, I can imagine. And I don't mind telling you, after I do the introduction, I kind of, in my mind, I'm going to... Milk?
Haven't tried to know in a while. Money's money. The older I get, the bigger Monday, we'll meet with Thierry and maybe Richard Osborne, CEO they got
Oh, a week. Okay, yeah.
What's the name of I would appreciate you are. What is it? I'm gonna. Oh, really? So what is this guy? You guys ready to get started? I know you would.
All right, you guys ready to go? All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started again. I'm pleased to introduce Hector with Amity. I think that's how you pronounce it, correct? Yeah. And from Mexico as well.
From Mexico.
So please join me in welcoming him. Thank you.
Well, hi, I'm Hector. I'm representing Amity. But first, before I show you the product and the service, I want you to understand the problem. So help me right now. Raise your hand if you know an elder who has suffered from a fall. It can be your grandma, your granddad, a neighbor. As you can see, this is a very common problem. So this is why. Let's see some numbers.
Point it this way.
Let's see some numbers. Every 30 seconds, a senior suffers from a fall. 1 out of 4 of these people who suffer from a fall stops doing their activity. Why? Because of fear of falling again. This only causes them to lose confidence in themselves, and this leads to depression. In Mexico, 1 out of 3 deaths in seniors are related to a fall. This is why we created Amity. Why? Because we are in the year 2016, and it's impossible, unbearable, that people are dying because they fall and don't get help. It's pretty much unbearable. So, what our product and service does? First, we have a smartwatch with a classic design, which can detect falls, can detect anomalies in the heart rate, and if the person is not feeling well, he can press a button. In any of these cases, we can contact a 24/7 assistance center, where specialists in medicine and psychology can attend the emergency. Also, we have a website where we can register records of heart rate, records of falls. We can enter new medications, new medical appointments, and also we can create reports to share them with family and doctors. Let me put you an example. My grandmother fell 8 months ago. She was getting out of her car and she fell. She was 6 hours on the floor, stuck there without she was unable to move until a neighbor saw her and got help. The consequences, pretty much fear, and she, with the 6 hours on the floor, she already had hypothermia. So, if she had her watch on, she will fail on the floor. The watch detects the fall, goes to the 24/7 assistance center, and we can do different things in this assistance center, like sending a doctor, sending the family, or if it's necessary, sending an ambulance. So instead of being 6 hours with hypothermia, it will be from 5 to 15 minutes. So how do we get money? This is a bit outdated, sorry for that. But mainly we have a monthly payment, monthly service payment for 24/7 assistance center. If you buy the watch, if you buy the service, the watch will be free. And we have 2 different packages. The first one is the basic, where you get the watch and the 24/7 assistance center for emergencies. The second package is a customized service where the user requires more attention. We can provide with a specialist doctor, like a cardiologist or a geriatric doctor, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, as the client wishes. And the website is free of charge for everyone. We have competition, but the main problem they have compared to us is they require additional devices. What does this mean? Our device does not require another device to work. It's independent. You just put it on your wrist and it starts working. Another fact is that they look like medical products. Who here wants to have a necklace this size with a big red button and go out on the street to live a normal life? They don't like it. We don't like it. No one wants to feel sick for wearing this kind of products. And they only offer protection inside home. This means they have sensors, they have everything in their home. So pretty much, if you want protection, you are stuck inside your house. I'm focusing right now on the Mexican market, where 1 of 10 people are seniors. This represents 11 million people in the market. Now, we go to for now, we are going to the middle high economy class, which represents 2.5 million in potential market, and other facts that, for example, adapting to technology, living alone, give us the number to 200,000 people. For the first year, we're focusing on 12,000 people. Okay. Sorry for that. And how we did market research and found out that 6 out of 10 people will buy our service, 7 out of 10 will buy our product. We sell it separately, but that's not enough. We already started the pre-sale of our product and service, and we also have partnered with Salud, which is a 24/7 assistance center, and with Perfect Choice. Our team consists. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Our team consists in multidisciplinary teams, experts in hardware design, software design, firmware design, industrial design, graphic design, and also marketing and branding. Also, we have our partners like Salud, like I explained, it's a 24/7 assistance center, and Perfect Choice experts worldwide in distribution channels. Actually, they are our partner with some equity right now, so we have the 25 years of experience in product management and selling. Can you help me with the next? Funding. How much we are raising? We are looking for $100,000, but we, in the next 8 months, are going to invest $163,000 from our own money. We are getting. We have it where we are going to spend on improving the service and the product. We are going to start the beta test,
and we're going to create more smartwatches. And it's not there, but we are also having a campaign starting in 1 month for a marketing and branding campaign. So that number gives us that we are not going to stop for the money. We're just going much faster with an investment. And also, if you are interested in acquiring this product, you can register at met.com.mx. If you want to get information, subscribe to get information on how you can get this product and this service. Also, if you are interested in developing this project in your country, because I know someone not from the United States or Mexico, you can contact me so we can work together and be our official distribution for this project. Thank you very much. And we can start the question and
answer. Real quick, before they get into the business question, the technology, are you using Wi-Fi, are you using cell phone, Bluetooth?
I'm using cell phone.
Cell phone, okay.
Yeah.
So the phone, it's built into the watch?
Yeah.
And then, so one more and then I'll stop. How long before the phone the watch needs to be recharged?
Okay, the phone lasts 5 days.
Okay.
And it has a recharging time of 30 minutes.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you.
Other question? I was going to ask, how big is your support team behind so that you can field the calls or the messages, the alerts?
We already have, with Susalud, with our partner Susalud, we have space for 90,000 people right now.
Okay. How many people are actually using it today? Have you sold it to anybody?
Actually, we have only 10 on the beta test, but he's using on his own assistance center. They have like 14,000 people. And they are going to get introduced to this service, so we actually we can get clients user more faster.
So you're saying 14,000 people have it once already? Or
No. Only the beta test that consists in 20 people.
Oh, okay.
But where we can get into his network of users, so we can offer the service to them.
Apple Watch or the other watches better?
Because they don't adapt very well to what we want to do. For example, if we want to create our own algorithm for how do you say in English, heart pressure, they don't have, a smartwatch currently doesn't have heart pressure, and we are actually working on that right now. We are working beyond what I presented to you right now, so smartwatches are very, very limited. For example, on the battery subject, they are very, very limited. As seniors don't want to recharge something every day, like a smartwatch does.
And this generation might not need the functionality of a smartwatch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not as
They only want to look like a watch. They want to know the heart rate and the emergency status.
On your beta testers, you had them actually fall down to see if Susalud does respond as...
Right now we only had 3 reports of falls and help them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we already have a working algorithm in that.
Does it have any capability to monitor the location of the person?
Yeah, if in an emergency, it has a built-in GPS.
Down to a room size? Like, for some elderly, it'd be nice to know they got out of bed, they spent time in the bathroom, they've been to the kitchen, now they're in another room.
Yeah, actually, we are working right now on another algorithm that detects, what the person does every day. So,
Okay.
if someone gets up at 3 a.m. in the morning and never does that, we can get an emergency. Hey, this person got up very, very late, you can see, and we can do something about it. But right now, it works only, sends emergency signals if we have cell phone signals. Yeah, right now. That's a pretty limitation. We are thinking how to improve that.
you can use more than cell phone. You can use Wi-Fi and Bluetooth to do some of the things that you
Yeah,
just
we
said.
can use Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. It's very limited to another device, so we want to avoid that because, well, at least in Mexico, elder people don't have a smartwatch. Not everyone has one. It's very difficult for them to learn new equipment.
So a special sensor that you patented, like to detect people fall down or something?
We already have patent pending on the industrial design, and we are going to patent the algorithms are the very core of only the watch. Our core business consists of the 24/7 itself. But yeah, we are planning to patent the algorithms very much. Because everything else can be copied.
All right. Thank you so much, Hector.
Thank you.
All right. The next presenter, we have Barbara, and Barbara's coming down. Fantastic.
From Ecoplazo?
From Eco, is that Ecoplazo?
Ecoplazo.
Ecoplazo, not Eco, Eco.
Yeah.
Okay. From Mexico, and where in Mexico?
Puebla.
Okay, fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Barbara. Thank you.
Point it that way.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Barbara. I'm from Mexico too, and I'm the founder of Ecoplazo. So every time we eat out or we throw parties, we use like a lot of straws or plates or cups, and those materials are made of plastic. Unfortunately, we just use them like about 30 minutes, and after that we just dispose them. What we don't know is after we dispose them, they are going to start like a trajectory through the to become a waste. But this trajectory will be around 500 years. So, which implies a problem for the environment and for the health. In Ecoplazo, we have developed a bioplastic which is obtained from the fruit peels, well, mainly organic waste, but its main focus on peels, fruit peels. And we have developed some disposable packages which are 100% biodegradable. And they, since they are toxic catalyzer free and resin free, they can be compostable after use. They have 200 days to be thoroughly degraded. So how are we going to make money? First, we're going to gather the organic waste with an alliance with the municipal
Waste disposal.
And also with cafeterias and juice companies. We have seen that in Mexico there's like a lot of informal jobs, so they are focused on like the juice industry, but in the informal way. So like you can see like every corner there is someone making juices, and they produce like almost 100 kilos of waste like every day. And the problem is that the gathering system, they don't pick up the garbage like every day. They pick the garbage like every 3 days. But the people, they don't care, they just leave it on the corner. So we have seen that this can be like a great opportunity. So we have think about a reward card. So the people, the people that make use, they can take the garbage into our gathering center, and they can receive points for that garbage. So in that way, we don't spend money like on buying that organic stuff. After that, we treat those garbage to extract mainly starches and to process them to produce bioplastic. And with this bioplastic, we have developed packages mainly for food industry, but also we have pellets, sheets, and we have tried 3D filaments. After the use, these packages or products can be disposed again and became compostable. About the competition, there is a lot of competition in the bioplastic field, but most of them are using food sources. Or mainly advantage is that we are using organic waste, that it doesn't have like any further use in the industry. And also that some of those bioplastic industries mix the starches with some plastic resin, and we don't. About the market opportunity, about 75% of the final products require a packaging. From those, 90% is focused on the food industry. About the traction, we started like this, 7 months ago. Our most recent products, well, looks like the one on the corner. We have also tried to make like accessories and food packaging, and also containers for plants. Well, on the last one, we have presented this project on different events. The most important was the one on Beijing, and we have been selected for one of the top 20 best projects in Possibly, which is like a kind of incubator in Mexico. And we are in incubation at the Tec de Monterrey. Well, the team is formed by a technology engineer, and even if we want to expand our team, we still want to improve our prototype.
There you go. There you go.
We are seeking an investment of $150,000 to improve the prototype and to make it massive. Because so far we have been producing manually.
Pricing of your packaging versus the traditional paper-based packaging?
Well, the traditional packaging is still being lower, but the price is lower. But we are expecting to decrease our price when we have like the massive machinery.
Do you have an idea what the prices are, like to compare?
Well, yeah, like for polyester and paper-based products, they are like around 3 cents. And our production, even being manually, is around like 20 cents. It's not that bad.
You say 200 days to biodegrade. Is that in the open, or what about in the covered landfill?
It could be open, or even with water, like the oceans, or in the disposable landfill.
Well, probably a lot of biodegradable things, when you put them in the landfill, it slows down or stops the degradation because they're not actually now exposed to the environment. So have you had any chance to actually test one covered up and buried?
Yes, we have tried it already.
Okay.
This is not recyclable at all? You have to dispose of it after one time?
Well, for the food packaging, we have thought that could be just like one use. But for example, with the 3D filaments, we have tried to recycle them, and it works 2 times.
And how sturdy is it?
How?
How sturdy is it? How solid?
It's more like a paper-based accounting.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, Bart. Thank you. All right. Next, we have another gentleman from Greece that's going to be joining us, Athanasios, and his company is eLearning Industries Limited, also known as mytutor.org. And once again, we want to thank the Hellenic Initiative for all their support of the Greek companies that are here as well. So please join me in welcoming Athanasios. Oh, you guys can applaud.
Hi, everybody. Well, suppose someone is loading up right now. We should hope that this will be done.
So I'll make it up as you go.
Well, Will, that's different company. Well, if
This
he has
was not
an
your
old,
product.
if
You
he has
didn't
an old
design this.
presentation, you can put the old presentation. My name is Athanasios Ladopoulos. I don't need the presentation anyhow. My name is Athanasios Ladopoulos. I'm a founder and CEO of an education technology company that is called MyTutor, which is probably this one as it's loading up. Now, we did set up this company because excellent. Because we wanted to address a problem that the parents have got right now, and that problem is their concern with the schooling of their own children. We also wanted to address another issue, that the students need to learn better and faster than the way they learn right now. So we came up with this online tutoring platform that personalizes education, and they called us the Airbnb for education. The way Airbnb understands your traveling habits, creates your traveling experience, and matches you at the end with an appropriate host. The same way we understand the way you learn as a student, create the learning experience, and matches you with a tutor that her teaching style matches your learning style to create what is called chemistry. Is there a need? Well, it is a pain, not just a need. Within 24 hours, from now until tomorrow, 3,500 students will drop out of high school in the USA. That's over 1 million a year. 70% of the students that you know, or the circle beyond that, what you know, they will not reach or graduate from college. That is scary if you think about it. And right now, the way it's being, well, treated is with vitamins, conventional tutoring. It costs between $6,000 and $14,000. Well, that's an expensive vitamin. And we bring to the market the painkiller, MyTutor, better, faster, more economical. And what we say more economical? $25 per hour versus the average of the alternatives. Walk-in tutoring centers, online tutoring, home tutoring. We can be up to 70% below our closest competitor. Understanding the learning styles is the secret. Because if you do understand how someone learns, you make it relevant. If you make it relevant, you have higher engagement. And that's the weakest point of every learning management system. So, algorithmic, how you learn. Algorithmic, and I'm pretty sure you are familiar with adaptive learning, and live on-demand intervention, because we believe the human element is still important, especially at the point of failure for the student, which is the weakest point and is the point of frustration. how it works in 3 simple steps. When a student comes to the platform for the first time, we try to understand through some tests the knowledge level, which means what he knows, what he doesn't know, and the knowledge gaps, plus the learning style. Then the student goes to the platform. He says when he wants to have a class. The system identifies the available tutors who match criteria amongst other quantitative and qualitative, like empathy and communication skills, plus, and most important, teaching style versus learning style, to create content. Remember, the teacher doesn't teach, intervenes. Content that matches the learning style of the individual. This is a learning platform that learns continuously. And we have IBM Watson. Please ask me why. The student wants to learn, but he wants to learn its own way. Mathematical, linguistic, video, kinesthetic, auditory, and more. What does the market says? The students, 65%, when we're hoping we'll get about 30, and we will be having a party. But it threw us when they experienced and they said, this is what we want, and versus the traditional, more established methods that have been around for years. And the parents, even more. The parents, they understand that because our solution doesn't affect their daily routine. They are stop becoming taxi drivers, ferrying the child back and forth. Is that a big market? You bet it is. It's a $150 billion market today, and it's growing by 6%. That's the equivalent of the size of small industries year on year. We go after a very thin slice of the market, which is the map for grade 7, 8. But it leaves us room to go US 10 times more, and globally even more. So this is today. If we are 5 years maturity, this is going to be somewhere over here. So the market will be even bigger. Do we have competitors? Well, of course we have. The classic tutoring service that most of you or some of you could be sending your children, or the traditional home tutoring where a tutor comes at home. But let's see at the value matrix. Personalization versus affordability. Well, these are the masters of the universe. They have close to 500,000 students in the US alone. And then you have those ones, which are traditional online tutoring. And then you have the advanced ones, which are the adaptive learning. And then you have what people say, the free, the Khan Academies of the world. But affordable, yes. Personalization, no. There are clicks, there are video clicks. Adaptive, no. Interactive, yes. Flexibility, anytime, any place, any device. Well, those people say goodbye. You can know that. Those people say goodbye as well, because you can do it only at the university. So in other words, take away personalization. These are the 3 elements of differentiation. Learning style personalization, tutor plus adaptive, student-tutor matching based on learning style, teaching style to create chemistry. Your pace, your time, your device, any place. Up to 70% more economical and high school. The team. Well, I'm the less competent of everyone else. I'm standing on the top of the shoulders. And that's luck, because I can see a bit further, I suppose, by standing on top of the others. But almost all of us, we have launched other startups, sold or closed. So some wounds and some glory. But what is great, for example, Dr. Chaparral is one of the first people who developed online curriculum for years and years and years. And all the other people, I suppose they've been experienced. Business model. Well, this is built here. Airbnb was the blueprint for the business model. The need, the desire was experience we had, all of us as students, plus our children. And is the traditional matching, as you understood. But the pricing model, and I'm so glad Uber came to life, because it's based on utilization of the tutors. The more tutors we have, and the more are incentivized to spend more days and times on our platform, they get more money per day. Although we decrease the price per hour, and we pass that to the student, we create a cycle that says, well, you Mr. Uber, or you online tutoring, or you any kind of tutoring you want, walk-in tutoring, you get paid 12 hours per day, per hour, 12.81 cents. In our case, because the teaching is done by machine learning, 5 students are 5 individuals. 5 pricing models, 5 pricing points, 25 divided by 2. The tutor goes away with $60 per hour. So this guy is getting paid 12. This guy, his best friend, getting paid 60. What do you think is going to do this guy soon? So what is that? I spotted that the big guys, the dinosaurs, they have an inefficiency in the pricing model, and I go after the tutors. I'll train them, we'll bring them on board. We'll have more tutors online. What that means for the father? Choice. For the mother, choice. For the student, choice. Students want it. One of the 3 things they declared to us, we want to have the choice of changing or choosing the tutor. Well, our cost about $300. The customer long-term lifetime value, quite substantial. You see where we're moving on coverage. Well, the future, one fits all, out of the window. Every child's unique, different learning styles, personalized education. Our way to the market? Well, some of the traditional and some of the less traditional. Ask me why telecoms and publishers. Publishers is easy, but telecoms ask me later on if you want. Well, if you believe that the future of education is going to change, hold our hands to raise $1.2 million. Scale the product, scale the team, expand. And let's all of us do that reality, because the future of education is personalized. Thank you. Thank you.
Questions from the judges? Question. Can I ask for the model of the tutoring? So if I'm a tutor, I get a profile of a student that wants to learn a certain way, and then I have a subject that I'm working on. In this case, it's math, right? And then I create a lesson plan or exercises for that student.
Okay, excellent. You tutor, you're lucky enough to be a knowledge mentor from now on, and you don't create anything. It's being created. What it does, think of Skype. You're there, the 5 students are here. As soon as they book your class, you get the learning style, and you get a point where they are right now, what content they will be taught for this class. You're there to intervene after 3 times of failure of each student. The first time he fails, we'll give him some help, an explanation. Now, failing means we have to identify the knowledge gap. Failing a question is a knowledge gap. So we have to give him help based on the knowledge gap. Second time failing, we might give a widget. Third time, we might bring IBM to say, I don't understand that. That for you and that for me is different. But understanding the background, the sequence, knowing my profile, then there is a natural dialogue. Failing that?
Yeah, I still want to ask you, what do I do as a tutor?
Intervene at the point of failure.
And what do I do? Do I provide a plan? Do I provide online?
You are always online. You are always online. Right. You see the whiteboards of the students, and you intervene at the point of failure, which means you know where the student failing, and then because you're not just any tutor, you've been selected because your teaching style matches the student style. Then, because that is an inflection point, knowing where the student fails, you take over. You take 100% control. As soon as the problem is resolved, you step back. And the machine learning continues. It's purely intervention.
My obligation then is to be present during those sessions.
And monitor everything which happens, because you see the whiteboards, and the system communicates with you if the student is having a problem, this is where the problem exists.
And then the system picks the moment I can intervene, or do I pick one?
No, the system informs you when to intervene.
And if 2 students fail, overlapping or close together.
That's why it's IBM Watson, to give time. well. It's a natural lane.
Any other questions?
How do you determine the learning style and teaching style? Like the teachers take an exam, the students take. Okay.
When the student goes for first time on the platform, he sees one questionnaire, a lengthy questionnaire, which is about the learning style. But everything else that happens in the platform is a learning platform. It fits inside and reinforces or it tunes the style. The same thing for the tutor. When the tutor comes to the platform, other than competency exams, other than conventional identification procedures and interviews, it will have also the teaching style, because it's very important. I'm sure you've been in a class when you were a student and you said, you know what, I didn't get anything. And you've been in another class and you said, that was amazing. Well, that was amazing is because you tuned in the way of the teaching. And that was, I didn't get anything, was also because you couldn't tune. So yes. If you may, the reason that we go through telecoms as one way, which is unorthodox, is because recently we've been approached by some of the telecoms who have a specific problem. They believe in the future will have challenging to recruit engineers, especially in the Northern Europe. They see more and more children go away from math, physics, and chemistry to other subjects. And they are afraid that 5, 6, 7, 10 years down the road, it will be a gap of skills. And they will need to import those skills and it will be more expensive. So that's why they were asking if it could be, they could distribute something like what we do inside.
Long term, like what prevents it if the learning methodology matches for a student and a tutor? Why would they just go off the platform? I mean, the tutor is giving you 50% of their income, right?
Yeah, right. So if the student is in Mexico and you're in New York, the only thing you can do if you go off the platform, do the conventional online tutoring, which is failing completely. Because not only that, you as a tutor, you will have to continuously find tutors, and you will get $25 per hour. That's what you will get if you go off the platform, because this is how much it will pay you. By staying in the platform, you will get half of that 5 times. That's 60. So you have a monetary incentive not to go off the platform. And actually, the more you stay on the platform, which means the more hours you do, the more days you do, the more income you get. Collectively. So it's an incentive not to leave the platform.
So another last question. Do you have enough, do you believe there will be enough people signed up that you can match enough tutors to students to make the financials work for the tutor?
We started our beta and we wanted 30 students for the beta. We had registered over 1,200. We believe strongly, not only are we going to have too many, we have a lot of students, but the parents like it. With the click of the button, you can have the reports coming to you. You don't have to go out asking, is that tutor good, the other? Because when you see the profile of the tutor, you can look for qualitative elements which schools don't give. I'm not going to talk about tutoring services, I'm talking about schools don't give. The communication ability of the tutor, the empathy, and also it's a self-fulfilling mechanism. eBay and Facebook and Airbnb, they've been using these methodologies for years and they're proving them work. So when the students give feedback, collective feedback over time, that's a very good filtering mechanism. But all those variables can be used in the algorithms when we rank the tutors, because we rank them. And when the student is ready to take a class, there is a list of tutors that have been pre-ranked, which is different for every student. And the student can choose, which is one of the criteria the students wanted, to choose the first or the number 4, of which I had classes before. And you know why? I'm totally satisfied. Choice.
Ignacio, thank you so much.
Very well. Sit down behind me.
All right, fantastic. The next presentation that we have is from Mexico, and it is Catalina, and she's going to talk about SLab. I'm not quite sure what SLab is, but you have a prop. So, okay, fantastic. Please join me in welcoming Catalina.
Good afternoon. My name is Carolina, and my project is SLAB, Technology for Agricultural Soil Protection. Okay. The problem, soil degradation is a decline in soil health that will decrease its capacity to produce goods. Around the world, small agricultural producers overexploit their land in order to satisfy demand and gain market share. In Mexico, 40% of the territory is already damaged by agriculture. 85% of the farmers are small producers, and their income enables them to give the proper treatment to their land, as they lack of technological and technical upgrade, causing the loss of fertility in an average of 4 years. What's the product? SLAB is a multi-sensor stake that measures soil health and water quality to provide instant feedback for soil treatment. How does it work? You turn it on with the help of the rope and your foot. You bury the stake. You wait 10 seconds for the sensors to work, and then you go to the next point and repeat. When the territory is fully covered, they can transfer data via Bluetooth or USB, and it will be displayed in graphs, and they will receive a specific treatment guide, like products and techniques to protect their soil. This is the first functional prototype. It's composed of a support base, the stainless steel stake, 2 plastic casings that protect technology, the anti-slip surface, the nylon rope, and inside we have Intel Edison, and the tech logs we have a GPS, pH, moisture, and conductivity nutrient sensors. Our business model, we are planning to do it with leasing. So we have the small agricultural producers that own less than 15 hectares, and they need to treat their land approximately 3 times a year. We have the stake that measures soil health and water quality and provides feedback. It will be provided in weekly contracts with distribution shipping companies or the strategic alliance with already established companies. And we have IoT trend. We can use all this data to create a global diagnosis of soil degradation, and we will provide maintenance and upgrade to the product. Our competition, actual solutions rely only on 2 quadrants. We have the specific sensors for domestic agriculture, and we have heavy equipment for precision farming for industrial agriculture. SLAB is between the transition to industrial agriculture for small producers. What do we offer? An affordable solution that has quick results, data storage, easy understanding of outputs, and instant feedback. Our market size. In Mexico, 85% are small producers. That means 3,005,100 farmers. They actually know the problem, but they think there are not suitable solutions. The product can be programmed to be used in other countries or other activities like livestock farming or deforestation. What have we done so far? We started in August of 2015. We identified the problem and had Intel Edison as a sponsorship. In October, we won a contest with the first place with our concept. And in December, we had the first functional prototype. And in February, we started with the accelerator. We have a scholarship. And in August and October, we are planning to have the new prototypes and then manufacture and launch in December with the first 10 products. This is our team. I'm Carolina, I'm a digital designer. I'm from Mexico. David, he's in charge of technology. He has a major in material physics and chip design. He's actually an exchange student in Mexico. And we have professional advisors. Claudio Monterrubio, he's master in industrial design. Jose Pablo Villaverde, he's our link to the business in the sector. And Christian, he's a mechatronics engineer and a scale-up consultant. We're currently raising for R&D, the next version of prototypes, initial operating expenses, and the first production run with $25,000. This is my contact info, and this is Tesla.
Questions from the judges?
What do you intend to charge, and do you have any projections for revenue on the business side?
We're actually just, right now we just have the first prototype, so we're waiting to have the next prototype in order to have all this data.
You were thinking of leasing, right?
Yeah, leasing.
So Carolina, the average farmer probably doesn't have the ability to read a USB report or things like that. What do you do once you test the soil and then you have the report? What do you do with it?
Oh, the report?
Yeah.
They get it into another device, and there is where they can get all the graphs and all the instructions to treat the soil.
So they get the report on the condition of the soil and some remedies for making it
Yeah,
better.
okay.
Does the stake or the part that penetrates the soil have to be cleaned after every use to get an accurate read on the next step?
No, not really. So the problem is not that this stake is clean. The problem is that they use, for example, when they want to do a sample, they so they get the soil wet, and that's when the sample is going to be contaminated. Or right now,
So it should be dry soil?
not dry soil, but just the soil like it is. So you don't have to add anything to grow the stake. Because right now the problem is that they have to, for lab analysis, they have to take out the sample, and in this process the sample is contaminated. So this one is an immediate sample, and that way, as it doesn't touch oxygen outside, it's not contaminated.
So if you get the results from your test, which I assume is going to ultimately become a fertilizer recommendation, that you need to put so many pounds of fertilizer on the soil.
Mm-hmm.
These small farmers, I mean, fertilizer today is like $500 or $600 a ton, and you could be spending thousands of dollars fertilizing a field. So are these people going to have the resources to actually implement the solution?
Actually, the best solutions right now are organic, or they're just techniques that they have to apply. So we can go that way instead of giving them expensive products.
Actually, the organics are more expensive than...
No, but I mean, like eco techniques. So it's just like telling them, okay, you have to do this, you have to put this amount of water, you have to put, I don't know, maybe don't move the soil a lot, or, I mean, just recommendations where they don't have to spend money.
Yeah, one of the common problems, at least in this area, is people actually overgraze their land. Maybe that's one of the recommendations, that they're overgrazing. Okay.
Any other questions? All right, Caroline, thank you so much. All right, we're going to stay in Mexico, and we're going to go to Credit Tag, and I think we have Rafael that's going to be presenting. Rafael, is everything else set?
Sure. Perfect.
Okay, please join me in welcoming Rafael. Thank you.
Well, hi everyone. I come from Mexico, but I'm really, I was born in Brazil. I left when I was 2 years old. But one thing that stayed with me was I really like soccer. So I go to the stadiums every week as possible. And I'm going to tell you a story about it. So when I usually go to the stadium, I bring some cash with me, 100 pesos, 10 bucks, let's say, well, not less maybe. But I go there, I buy a drink, a beer or something, and I watch the game as everyone there. But then afterwards, what happened? And not only for me, but a lot of other companies, other persons there. So you go out and there's all these food trucks, or in Mexico they're not really food trucks, they're just places where you can buy some food in there. And I go there and I really don't have any more cash. Like, you know, I usually go to the stadium, I don't like to have a lot of cash, there's a ton of people there, it's not a good idea. So what options I have? First of all, I can go to an ATM machine and try to find one nearby and try to be one in pondering the lender, trying to pick up some cash. Second option, try and found some place where they accept credit cards. In Mexico, pretty much all those type of places will not accept credit card. Third option, and what most people does is go home or go somewhere else. No. So like this story, there's a ton of stories in Mexico. No, there's all these companies, all these restaurants, companies, really small, that they don't have any option to receive credit cards. And what options do they usually do other than the terminal? There's these plug-in things in the phone, things like that you can find here in the US as well in Mexico, but they're really expensive, even for Mexico. You know, having a smartphone, having the internet is really expensive. And well, like that, there's 99.8% of the business in Mexico are small and medium-sized businesses. And only 30% of those, they have some type of IT communication in their infrastructure. So I'm not even saying payment, I'm saying like phones. So you know there's, let's say 50% of them will have some sort of way of charging you with a credit card. So what we came up with was credit card. So what's credit card? The idea in credit card is that, you know, all of us, we already have smartphones. There's like really smart computers. So why don't just move the technology from the vendors, the business, the companies, and give it to the buyers, you know, so they will do the transactions. And how we do this? So each business will have something similar like this. It's just a QR code, a really nice QR code with our branding and everything. And the buyer will have our application where you will get your username and everything, and when you register, you'll register a debit card, credit card, PayPal account, etc. in there. You'll go to the hot dogs place and ask them, okay, I want 2 hot dogs. They'll say, okay, it's 30 pesos. I'll take my phone, scan the QR code, write down 30 pesos, make the transaction, and the guy in the hot dog place will have a phone that will receive an SMS message saying, okay, Rafael just paid you 30 pesos. And that guy will receive his money in 24 hours in his account. So, okay, this is going a little bit weird. So you have a scan, write down the amount you want, and it will go. So what happened? We went down and see, like, you know, like you really want to have something like this, like do businesses. Are you okay? No, that's a credit card. They were like, sure, well, I would like to accept credit card, but what happened? They want to be off the grid. They don't want to pay taxes in Mexico. So, well, no one wants to pay taxes, not only in Mexico. But right now in Mexico, there's the government is playing and giving a lot of programs, so all these businesses can come and register for them to avoid not to pay taxes. They have to, if they charge less than 100,000 pesos a year, they will not pay taxes. So there's all these programs in Mexico that all these small companies are starting to legalize. And the other thing that they saw, other than informality, was the reliability. Sorry if I'm pronouncing this thing wrong. So the other thing is that, you know, there's all these tags in the phones or terminals, but they don't work half the time, at least in Mexico, I don't know here. Well, in Mexico, you go there, the thing is not accepting one card, it's not accepting credit card, it's not accepting debit card and such. They are always having this issue that, okay, this guy just went to a restaurant, ate 300 pesos on food, and there's no way to charge them because they don't have internet or whatever. So this way, you avoid all of these issues because now you, with your own cell phone, you have internet, you can pay at a time. So, and what's the other issue from the buyer's perspective? There's a lot of complexity. So we try to make it as simple as possible, all of this, no? Trying to come up, well, I'm a UX designer developer, so try to come up with this simple flow, but at the same time considering security. So what's one of the major things in security that we come up? We don't want to ask them for a password. If you go to and ask them for a password every single time, after 2 tries, they will not ever use your application. So we just giving them a neat option that you just write for numbers and let's go. You already have something really similar to that. And the third issue that we have is dependency. So what about dependency? I was telling you, okay, we need internet in our application for this to work. What's the other option? So I don't know if you guys have heard about M-Pesa in Kenya, that what they're doing is doing transfers through SMS messages instead of the internet. So the other option, the other functionality that this application has is that even though you have the application, if you don't have internet, the application will create an SMS message, send the SMS message encrypted with your own ID, token ID, and everything to our backend, and we will do all the transaction for you, and then you'll receive an SMS message. This way, you as the buyer, you don't even need internet really to do all of this. Well, that team, okay, so we have really 3 persons already. It was creating keynote and PPT didn't take it that well, but there's a third person in there. So it's me. I am, as I told you, UX design developer. Right now working on Oracle. And then we have Iris, that she has a master's in marketing, studied marketing, 5 years of experience in sales. And we have a third person. He's a mobile developer with 10 years experience in mobile development. He's even a teacher in one of the major universities, and he has a big software company too. And well, what we're searching for, so right now this project started 3 months ago. We're finishing our prototypes. The major issue that we're facing is not from the technology driven, even though technologically this is going to be a little complex because of all the security issues that we need to consider, especially just to make it work in Mexico, and the legal issues are the most important part of here. So Mexico is not, one of the latest in fintech technology in the world, so we need a lot of help with the legal and accounting issues, and we're searching right now $200,000 US to make this thing work. Thanks a lot.
If I'm a vendor, Rafael, and somebody comes up and wants to pay, and they do this, and then they go, how do I know that they actually paid?
You receive, the person in the hot dog stand or wherever will receive an SMS message saying, okay, this person just paid you $30.
So each vendor would have one of your little stands out.
So this is just a quick one, but we're doing a different one. Oh yes.
But that's how you know that the
that's
vendor
the
actually
uniqueness.
has a telephone of his own to receive the message.
Yeah, you don't even need internet on your phone. You don't even need money in your phone. You just need to receive that message. So that's the way we validate this.
The customer doesn't need an internet connection on the phone.
The customer usually does. As I mentioned before, there's another option that we're considering, that's SMS message. The same application will create the message encrypted, send it to our backend. We will do the transaction and send a confirmation message that will be taken by the application and tell you it's confirmed. And at the same time, the person selling you will receive in the smartphone the confirmation message. And this is already being done in other countries.
Could you tell us the financials? How much do you charge for this, and how much do you?
So on the prototype that we're working on right now with the sandbox from Visa, MasterCard, but it's really difficult to get contacts from them so they can tell you, okay, how much you are charging me so I know how much I will charge them. So right now, even though we're doing this really fast from the Visa, MasterCard side, they're not as fast as we are. So we have that dependency right now with them. Right now we're going with Visa and Master because American Express has a different charging option. So we just, and these ones are the ones that charge less. So we want to give a flat rate for everyone. You know, don't have this thingy of, okay, if you are paying with Amex, I'll charge you 5%. I don't know if it's Visa. So we just want to stay with one simple rate for everyone. Sorry?
Is anything proprietary? People could use PayPal, Square, Venmo, any of the other payment methods.
Yeah, but the other payment, I agree, but the other payment methods, the issue is that the technology comes from the seller. And in Mexico, you don't have those sellers, you know, the hot dog guy, they don't have internet, they don't have, they can even have smart cell phones, but they will not have internet on their cell phones, you know? So that's the issue, and this is more of approach for Latin America. And this approach has already been done in South Africa. There's an application called Snapchat in South Africa. They have some different issues with the legal side of Africa, but there's some other models being used in other places in the world.
Any other questions from the judges?
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to have a bit of a change in the program. We've spoken to Demetrius with Yildiwo, and Demetrius said it's okay. We have Mario from Morse VR from Mexico. Mario, where are you? Okay. All right, I think you're going to come on down, and love to have you come and present real quick. The whole audience can come up here if you'd like. It's entirely up to you. Okay.
Your technology works, ours does not.
Yeah. Here's your. Hey, let me try real quick. I'm sure it can. Perfect. So, if we can start, we are Morse Virtual Reality. And before we get going, tell you a little bit about us. I'd like to know, raise your hands. How many people here have been on a conference call or an online meeting in the last 7 days? Okay, keep them up, keep them up, keep them up. And how many of them were terrible and had an awful experience and you wish you could replace them with something better? So that's what we do. In the next 2 minutes, roughly 500,000 conference calls and online meetings will start around the world. When polled, 6 out of 10 people on those conference calls were actually doing something else. They were checking email, they were text messaging, maybe were on mute, just yeah. Dragging billions of dollars of unproductive time through enterprises across the world. So what do? Virtual reality, you might have heard of it. It's coming up nowadays. We use virtual reality to create a virtual reality meeting service that replaces the WebExes, the GoToMeetings, the Hangouts, the FaceTimes. This gives us a solution that has 3 key aspects where we improve on conference calls and online meetings. First one, has anybody ever put on a virtual reality headset and tried to type on their laptop? Keeps you engaged. When you've got engaged meeting participants, they want meetings to be more effective, more efficient, because they want to get back to whatever else they were doing or get the meeting to a successful outcome. Second thing, how many of people here, another raise hands, use PowerPoint? How many have seen a change in the PowerPoint presentations since 1992 that we've been using them? We keep on using data in a 2D format. It's flat. Unfortunately, a lot of the information we need to communicate isn't designed for 2D. Well, with virtual reality, data can now be experienced. You can now manipulate it. So let's say that you are all services firm here in Texas. You could be looking through an Excel spreadsheet of all the different production rates in your different sites. Or you could look at the region in a 3D map and actually visualize which region regions are giving you higher production rates and be able to make more effective decisions than you did before. That's point number 2. The third advantage that we had over, and here not only conference calls or online meetings, but traditional meetings as well. We've all sat across a table in a meeting with multiple people and couldn't quite remember the name of that person over there or what was that previous project we worked with them before. With virtual reality, everybody can see their own aspect of the meeting. So we had a heads-up display that allowed me to, when I stare at Patrick, I can see it's Patrick Moss from Indiana, what his background is, and different notes that I took to make sure that my meetings are far more effective and productive. So are the 3 things we have. We've got a few other advantages. They work with every smartphone, well, most smartphones, Android or iOS. It's tremendously cheaper than the video presence rooms that a lot of them companies are purchasing from Cisco. And you can do them from the comfort of your house. Have a full productive day, interacting with employees, clients, partners, without leaving your desk. Who are we? So, Mark Leo, former engineer, management consultant, Kathleen Lockwood, send it back. MBA, former engineer, also management consultant. She did a startup here in Austin and took 2 offices in Austin and Mexico City. Jess, an award-winning animator, and Patrick Moss, one of the leading VR thought leaders in the industry. Well, previously we've worked with large companies who we saw those pains with. As consultants, working with GM, working with AIMS, we know how much those meetings last and the pains that those meetings have and how we can make them far more productive. Where we are right now getting off the ground. In fact, what was it? We were driving up from Mexico City yesterday. On the drive, we finalized a new release version and pushed it up. You can now see, and in fact, rather than telling you about it, who wants to try first? You're going to be placed. If anybody uses glasses, you can adjust the focus right here in our meeting room. If anybody has been to Mexico City, look out the window. You're going to see the Torre Mayor. You're going to have, if you're going to be in a meeting room with a spinning 3D model right in front of you. That 3D model can be replaced by live feeds, topographical maps, surface maps, any new way that we can visualize information and experience it. Is it working for everybody?
The only problem we have right now is that they're connected, but the internet isn't, we couldn't get access to the internet, so they might not be synced, but they work.
So let me tell you, as you try it, a quick story. Back in October, we had in Mexico quite an interesting hurricane. Hurricane Patricia started, I believe it was on 7 in the morning, like a level 3 hurricane, and in a matter of hours, turned into a catastrophic Hurricane 5. Normal procedure is for the governors and the different deputies to fly in and meet in the natural disasters war room. With that short time frame, it wasn't practical to fly them all in. So they all send their assistants. And that meeting, what ends up happening is, hold on, let me call the governor and make sure that we can do this. With Morse VR, if they had that, what would now have happened is all the governors and the different deputies would have their gear headset with them. When a time-sensitive natural disaster or any other national security meeting needs to happen, pop in those headsets and you're able to visualize the terrain, where the electricity generating areas are, where the roads are, population density, and be able to make fast decisions to avoid more catastrophe. So we are signing up our first corporate clients right now, trying to get them into the initial pilot phase. As former consultants, we're working with our former companies to get them on for those Friday day-long conference days. And we are raising our initial round of funding. Anything else there to bring up? Oh, that's where we're at. Any questions? Wait, Pat, Justin, do you wanna, yeah.
over here.
Do you wanna keep on passing them back there, and while Kathleen and Pat join me up here?
So I see that you're using the smartphone snap-in headset model. What is proprietary about your system?
We built the software for it. The hardware is any phone, in fact it works with most Android and iOS phones. All you need is the VR headsets. These ones, in fact, I think they're coming free with every Samsung that you buy right now in the US and Mexico. And you can buy in Amazon and a bunch of other providers. Our proprietary is the software. Let's say kind of like a WebEx alternative, but for virtual reality.
Is that patented or could be patented?
Could be patented. We are looking at it into that process. That's something that as soon as we get the funding, we'll wrap up.
There's no question the technology is pretty cool, and you can tell how passionate you are about it. But when you think about going into these large companies, it's got to be more than just really cool. It's got to add value. It's got to save money. It's got to make people work faster. When you're talking to these companies, what's kind of that first or second sales channel that you see, that quick adoption, where it not only makes the engineers think it's cool, but the CEO says, this is going to save time and money, and my people really need this to make my company better.
Well, there's a couple areas where we've had a lot of interest. The first one, and I'm sorry if I'm over here because I don't want to block out the screen that way, is human resources and performance reviews. Companies' people are usually the most important asset. If you've sat through a performance review call, it's usually just going through names that maybe a manager vaguely remembers, trying to pinpoint, did I work with him on that project? Is he the one that I wanted? It doesn't matter if they send the Excel sheet with the notes. In that moment, it's hard to visualize all that information. Imagine you're sitting in a room, you're seeing all your colleagues and peers, and you've got the face come up. Patrick Moss, all his different metrics on his performance as the call goes on. So that's one area where they're liking it. The other is oil and electricity, being able to visualize the complex sets of data that are hard to explain to the non-technology side of the company. Being able to visualize it is another area where they're particularly intrigued.
What's the strategy with governments?
Sorry?
So what's the strategy with augmented reality? I mean, for a virtual meeting, it's much better, like the question you posed. If you are embedded in the environment, you can't really use a keyboard, you can't type. So you need augmented reality where you can interact with the presentation of people. So any plans for that, or?
Yes. Right now, one of the limiting factors in using augmented and virtual, and it's not just an issue for us, but for all the VR and AR areas, chip processing power doesn't really love using the camera while displaying VR, while keeping it cold enough to not overheat. So it's a limitation that it's going to be overcome through the hardware side. And I'm sure as soon as we're able to do it, it'll be integrated into a product.
Yeah, right now Oculus and Samsung are working on some technology that is for your hands. So you put some kind of controllers and you have a keyboard right in the virtual space. So that's how we're going to integrate it.
The biggest problem was communication, and that's why we had voice instead of there's a lot of VR apps that are just like visual input, and the reason behind being able to talk to somebody is so that you don't have to type or chat, that helps a lot.
So are you selling the presentation software as a service, or is it like just licensed?
It's as a service where we're really trying to not reinvent the wheel there. What's worked for WebEx of how many seats do you need available, paid either monthly or annually. We're following very closely that pricing model, so it doesn't change a lot of their structure.
Last question. Anybody?
What's the price?
Starts at $29 up to $150 with the more complex. I'd like to stare down and be able to record my messages, the more elaborate.
Modifying environments, heads-up display, real-time data, all of it.
What kind of bandwidth do you need to be able to do that? What's your refresh rate as well as what's your screen resolution of the refresh? Because I noticed that there's some other lines, the other gets cut it out, and very efficiency is not high enough. So actually, that is a good business.
The screen resolution and refresh rate is limited by what's more handled by whichever phone the user is using, so we're compatible with a variety of them. Regarding the bandwidth, We worked a lot with the compression so that it's anywhere if you've got 3G cell phone signal.
3G works fine.
You won't notice a drop in performance.
Why didn't you draw this on the phone?
Sorry?
How different is when I look at the put it on the phone screen and forget it?
You lose the
I'm just kind of trying to simplify the really because this is going to be an added cost. If you quality across a company that has 100,000 employees, this is going to be, the first question will come, how fast this is. And I'm thinking, I don't need really to see deeper and do WebEx, but I can see on my phone, and really from the software alone and nothing else. And that makes it a long way.
Well, one of the things that we're guaranteeing is attention, right? The first thing that we mentioned was that in video calls and video conferences, people can lose attention. In VR, you know that they're 100% dedicated to you.
Yeah, that's true. But the reality in virtual reality is that you really don't want to be 100% immersed in that virtual reality. You want to be about 40, 50% and then do something else on the side. And that's really the reality of what's happening today.
Oh, it's an option we have
only
for
so many
sure.
hours in a day, and you're going to maximize that time of the subject that I'm discussing that you're not doing today.
Yeah, that is definitely a challenge that we have ahead of us to manage.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, we're about 10 minutes behind, so we're going to catch up real quick. Demetrius, where are you? There we are. Demetrius. Demetrius is from Greece. I've mentioned this before on a number of occasions. The Hellenic Initiative has been very supportive, bringing a number of Greeks over to pitch and to really experience South by Southwest to expand capitalism, of course, throughout Greece as well. So we have a company, Yodiwo, that Demetrius is going to talk to you. We're all ready to go. So join me in welcoming Demetrius, please.
Thank you. Howdy, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you say howdy?
I did. I'm in Texas, aren't I?
Bravo.
Okay. So, from Patras, Greece, all the way to Austin, Texas, it's a pleasure to be in front of you. It's been a long day, so let's have some fun. My name is Demetrius from Yodivo. Today, in order to modernize any business sector, to automate its processes, and to leverage the Internet of Sensors, actuators, and services, it needs a lot of investment, a lot of development time, or you can simply use the IoT cloud platform of Yodivo. So it's important to manage efficient business processes that create a lot of cost savings and benefits for any industry and any company. In a typical retail inventory shelf management system, it takes up to 20 minutes today for a salesperson to go and inspect manually data entry on a tablet application, everything, all the products on the shelf, to check for shelf to check for planogram compliancy and also for out of stocks. What if I could tell you that in just less than a minute, a salesperson can use his mobile phone, snap a picture, upload that to the cloud with our own image recognition analytics tool, analyze, and then send all this data and these important KPIs directly to any manager on the go. And imagine the impact of that, which is 15 times quicker. Imagine the impact trying to manage hundreds of shelves and hundreds of stores all over the country. So this is exactly why we believe our offering is exciting, because we want to help you leverage the power of IoT technologies and offer your customers enterprise solutions that create an impact and added value. And how long do you think it takes to create such a retail environment as I just showed you? How about if I provoke you and say that it would take you 5 minutes with our tool? So as you see, we have a user-friendly graphics user interface to create through drag and drop and simple connecting the dots and deploy scenarios. You can create any business scenario. On the left-hand side, you see we have a library where we have icons of functions, of mobile apps, of third-party services like Google Maps, whatever. And as I said, really simple. You just deploy the scenario that you want. Okay, so this is Yodivo. We are a technology enabler that enables us to cut as much as 90% on development and maintenance costs for any IoT enterprise solution. A team of seasoned professionals that have been working for over 10 years in the IoT industry founded Yodivo beginning of 2015, covering all the functionalities of all the functions of the company, and today we have over 23 employees globally. We're headquartered in Sweden. We have R&D presence in Greece and in Cyprus, and we have a sales team presence in 3 continents, 6 countries, in order to accelerate our business, our market penetration, and to support sustainable growth for our company. And what about the market size? We are very well positioned to grasp an industry will have a profound impact in the global economy, such as IoT. And just EU 28 alone by 2025 for enterprise solutions, the market will be 80 billion and will create over $1 trillion in savings in various ways. Through our partners and direct customers, we offer IoT cloud services in specific verticals such as retail, wholesale, supply chain, facility management, cloud-enabled microcontrollers, and wearables. Sorry. We have a simple business model, which is a pay-as-you-go platform as a service tiered subscription model that creates annual recurrent revenue based on cloud events per month of our customers' things. We also have another revenue stream created by one-off SaaS design services, and we also create for specific vertical markets partnerships with some of our customers to create SaaS contract and subscription-based solutions that again create annual recurrent revenue. We are well aware of our competitors, and we understand as well that in order to compete and to keep a leading edge in this industry, we need to continuously invest in interoperability with third-party platforms and services, advanced business analytics, machine learning algorithms, and quick development time to keep the cost of investment for our customers low. We have a comparable and complete cloud-based workflow environment that is really our competitive advantage. It's able to enable and support anything from silicon functions all the way to third-party services such as Skype, Facebook, and they're able to communicate and exchange messaging through data processing algorithms. Another key feature is we offer the concept of IoT fog. In simple words, what we're able to do with a very small software footprint, we can create any computing device that we have in our environment, and we can leverage that and create a gateway that in effect can in real time offload the cloud and create local IoT environments. And what this does is it creates a competitive advantage concerning efficient distributed systems that creates, in effect, reliability if the internet goes down, security because you keep the data within your local area, and also low latency. So according to Gartner, a report by Gartner identifies the top 10 Internet of Things technologies for 2017-2018, which will really affect and have an impact on the industry. And you see on the right-hand side, the left-hand side, sorry, how Yodivo is positioned to all of these 10 technologies. And we feel that this really showcases the ability of our platform to compete in this market space. Concerning our roadmap, our market and our customers are the ones that define our roadmap, and it's completely aligned to our sales strategy. That means continuous development enhancement in business intelligence and business logic. It also includes, as the data traffic and our customers grow, this will need continuous investment in scalability of our platform. Another area that we're investing heavily in our roadmap is a patent pending technology for application agnostic MCUs. This is very well, how can I say, accepted by the leaders, the largest MCU manufacturers and vendors. And finally, we will continuously invest in the advanced features of our IoT Fog, and also create and continue developing our cloud bridge that will act as a gateway to seamlessly connect various platforms such as Nest, HomeKit, and SmartThings. Looking at our 5-year revenue stream, from our first year of operation, 2015, we broke even, and with a year-over-year projection growth of over 200%, we aim to achieve a revenue of over 70 million by 2019. And this is a glimpse of our growth plan. So we're seeking today a round $3 million USD investment in order to scale up our sales, our marketing, our business development and product development. We foresee another round, B round, by December 17 of another $5 million USD, and we hope and plan that we will have a successful exit or an alternative scenario, an IPO by the end of 2019. So that's Yodivo. Thank you for your attention, and I'm open to any questions.
Directors, questions? Given that you're generating revenue today, I assume that means software's out, you have customers using the product. Can you give us, an example? You threw out the 90% cost savings. Well, give us a kind of a what's happened today.
Sure. So actually, the scenario that I showed you concerning the retail market, this is an ongoing customer of ours. They're providing solutions and services to the retail market. So actually big players like Nestle, like Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, they're using this solution right now to really leverage and to cut costs on this scenario that I just showed you, which is pretty much the shelf management, planogram compliancy, customer behavior, competition, all that. So really by just taking a snapshot and throwing that up to the cloud and getting all this image recognition, you immediately can define the KPIs that you want, and through our own business analytics we can just shoot those reports to any manager that's abroad or on the go.
Is the ultimate target then to take it from a Johnson & Johnson all the way down to the end of the supply chain to the retail, like a Target or Walmart or?
Sure. Well, what we see now is we're interested in the U.S. market. We see that retail, though, it's a huge market. You have really big players, while on the other hand, in Europe, you have a lot of smaller players with a lot of disparate systems. So it seems that, at least in this sector, it could be interesting to start with Europe, and that's what we're doing right now. But the interesting thing is that in Greece right now, we're leveraging all the big internationals. So we're using that both to get business knowledge and then take that through our experience with these local players to the global market.
Any other questions for the judges? All right, teachers, thank you so much.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. All right, we're going to stay in Greece, and we're going to have Anthony. Anthony is here? Where's Anthony? Oh, there we go. Anthony from Robotics Lab. Okay, fantastic. Are we ready to go? We are. Great, thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Anthony Kanouras, I come from Greece. I'm a robotics engineer and founder of Robotics Lab. And before we deep dive into a mind-blowing space for little ventures, let me tell you about my problem as a parent, and hopefully the problem of all parents. Kids nowadays ask Arduino microcontrollers and accelerometers and stepper motors for birthday presents, and years have changed. Kids nowadays get bored easily, learn in a different way, and we have to find a way to provide them with more future-proof activities. Quite frankly, parents' knowledge is limited nowadays, and their time also is limited to do some DIY hacks and play with their kids in this area. And also school structure is quite stiff to follow technological advances and provide curriculum related to this culture. So the idea is that education needs to turn into an extraordinary experience for the kids. The future needs technologically advanced people with different mindset. All right, what's our solution? A physical space that kids have all the infrastructure, all the tools, and the right people there to help them learn, but in a different way. We have 3 zones, the interactive installation zones, in a playful and a gamified way. Kids can grasp technology. The workshop zone, trained facilitators and special educational platforms can help their kids make their own robots, do videography programs, coding programs. Finally, a makerspace zone for kids, computer-aided design and manufacture can help us nowadays have our own factory at home. So kids have to learn and turn themselves from consumers to designers and makers of their own toys. All right. Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about our team. Robotics Lab has been active in this field since 2008. Back then, we were moving from school to school, trying to create our market. It was something very new back then. And proudly enough, I can say that our work has traveled from Greece to London to Barcelona to Sofia, Bulgaria in various events and festivals and conferences. I'm the founder. Katerina is a creative educationalist which helps with the design of the educational curriculum. And Dimitri is with us since the last month. He's a business developer that helps us grow and develop our vision further. And let me tell you a little bit more about our product, because the physical space, no matter how cool the equipment is, the 3D printers, the robots, is not enough. We have to design inspiring curriculum based on theme scenarios so kids can dive in and be confident with technology, with Internet of Things, with wearables. So other than the space, it's also the design of the curriculum and also the design of not gimmicky installation, but educationally rich interactive installations that the kids can learn through playing. Some pictures of our vision: the interactive zone, an open space with all the installations; the workshop zone, an open space where kids can have different platforms for electronics, robotics; and then the maker space, 3D printers, CNC routers, laser cutters. Why now? Well, worldwide trends in education 2020 shows that we have to blend formal and non-formal education. It's the right moment to put into the educational curriculum the maker spaces and courses and subjects and project-based learning related to robotics and electronics, coding as well, making as well. About 80% of the jobs in the next decade are going to need people with technological skills. Let's fill that gap. Also, there's a great movement in the maker culture nowadays. Maker Faire started from 16 in 2010 to 135 in 2014, and visitors from 160K to almost 800K. What's next? Kids naturally follow that lead, yeah? Okay, our market. The target group, the age range of the kids we are looking into is from 6 to 15 years old. And according to the average population of this age range, which is 17% worldwide, and a penetration rate of 40%, a medium city of 500,000 people have about 34,000 kids that could be potentially little inventors. Our target is mainly developing countries in Europe, like Turkey, Bulgaria, Romania, Poland, Hungary, Serbia. And of course there is competition. I would call it indirect competition. Science museums, unfortunately, they're big, unsustainable organizations. How many of them can a country afford? Our model is a smaller scale and more affordable. Of course, sustainable and focused not in science but in more up-to-date technology stuff. And also some other activities like art, theater, music and sports. They target the same age range but they're a bit outdated and uninspiring. On the other hand, robotics lab space is an innovative, follows the future right now and is scalable to fill various market needs. I'll explain you how. Our business model is based on franchise. So we want to set up as a pilot project the physical space in Thessaloniki, Greece. For obvious reasons, it's going to be much more cost effective to do. And then there, we're going to develop and validate all the curriculum material on the design, all the platforms for the education workshops. And then the plan is to, after all this evaluation and refinement of the product, we have a franchise package, a turnkey package that is offered to entrepreneurs that want to invest in those developing countries. So we offer them training for their facilitators, all the software, all the educational platforms, and its testing materials. All we need is 360K for the pilot project, and that includes the design and development of the physical space, which is roughly 120K, and the rest is for 12 months of designing the product, the franchise package, and also running the space. So using the material with the kids, we can refine and optimize it. The product is scalable, so in a small city like Thessaloniki, one workshop, one makerspace, and an installation zone of around 200 square meters is enough. But if, let's say, we want to take this in Istanbul, in Turkey, which is a greater city, we can scale that to 3 workshop areas, 2 makerspaces, and a larger installation zone. We've been operating since 2008, so we have formed already great traction in the industry. We have long-term contract with private schools, so we have about 700 little inventors that follow year-long programs. That means we have our potential customers that are going to come in the space, so we can refine the product. And what we have projected is an average fee of $10 per visitor per session. A space of around 3,600 square feet in Thessaloniki could return up to 50K per calendar month. The running expenses is about 16K. But the target is to produce a franchise package and sell it to investors and spread around. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time. I'm free for questions.
Questions from the judges? What made you decide to go with the franchise model? Why aren't you opening this up and making the money?
The idea is to produce the product and would like to get this outside of Greece. Because we've been invited to London and Barcelona, we've seen that it has great potential. I mean, why not grow it if you can?
Yeah, it requires a lot. Do you have any winning franchise experience on your team?
No. But the team has to grow to make this possible.
What is the store actually selling? You said there's a store component to it inside the space?
There is no store. It's the maker space where kids learn how to use 3D printers and laser cutters so they can make their own things. There's the interactive installation zone.
Maybe I misunderstood. I thought there was also a component where you can actually sell something.
I mean, yeah, you can have like merchandise with t-shirts and stuff, but that's a side business.
Yeah. Based on your numbers on just ballparking, it looks like it would need about 200 kids a day, roughly, to hit those kind of numbers. And you think that can be sustained?
Yeah, the flow
repeated models.
The flow plan is like during daytime we get visits from schools, and during the evening we have individuals like families and individuals, and for the weekends it's open for theme parties based on robotics and making, and also individuals and tourists as well. Okay. So it is feasible.
It's an interesting story, in Austin, I don't know if you remember, we have actually out where I live in Lakeway, Maker Nights. It's almost the same technology, and they bring in once a month, robotics, or, I saw the little bits of electronics on the screen, they have that. We thought it all about, and what they do is they come to the school, so they eliminate, the fixed cost of the 5,000 square feet. We thought it all about that as a way to lower your cost and really prove up your business model.
That's what we've been doing since 2008. Right. We moved from school to school, and we get the feedback from parents that they need a space to bring their kids whenever they like. I visited Thinkery the other day, and I was talking with the director, and she said that they spent 7 years to design and build Thinkery. How about giving them a ready-made proof model? That's the idea. You wanted to ask something?
I love the idea, and my question was actually, it was along the lines of the 200 visitors a day.
Mm-hmm.
But considering that you've been going from school to school, have you thought about maybe a travel version of this that goes in like a trailer or
definitely,
something like that?
That would be a great extension to this idea, because let's say in Greece, maybe Athens and Thessaloniki could have such a space, and then there could be a mobile lab that could go around rural areas and stuff. And I believe that's the area where it's needed most, because they cannot have the exposure to these things in the rural areas. But yeah, it's an option. Any other questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
As you can tell, music has started outside. So what we're going to do, thank you.
Just now.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're not going to let people come in or leave until the breaks. Yeah, exactly, during the presentation. So just out of respect for everybody. So what that means is hold it for 15 more minutes and then you can go. So in any event, at this point in time, we have got Fernanda, who's going to come and talk to us about Hewa, is how you pronounce it, and she is from Mexico. So please join me in welcoming Fernanda.